Hello. Good evening, everyone. How's it going? As usual, I have a problem about with time. I apologize. Time is not my friend, but I made it. Yay, sorry. I apologize. I will accept punishment within reason. Okay, that got weird. So yeah, I was playing around with the light situation recently because it was, I think, too dark in here. I think that might have been what some of the problems I was having with like blurriness. I think I just didn't have enough light, so that's still a work in progress. But yeah, there was a situation with the light, and I had to like reposition it. Excuse me. But turns out the bird had pooped on like the handle that there's like the handle that attaches it to the desk, and the bird pooped on it somehow. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna twist this off real quick, and then that's a handful of bird shit. So yeah, the bird is fun. He's a lot of fun. Let me get this chat and everything up because I don't even have that pulled up at all. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, I need this window. So yes, thanks to Naz, by the way, for sending me the link for the thing that we're looking at tonight and the Discord. I was like, ah. And then I saw that Clint Russell was going to be in it, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. Because, as you know, I'm a big fan, so it's going to be fun to watch something with him in it, and other people, I guess, too. But as far as the opposing side, I mean, it's obviously I'm gonna be agreeing with the people on the like America First side, obviously, right? But as far as people on the opposition, one of them looks mildly familiar, but the rest of them don't even look remotely familiar at all. Like I don't know who any of those people are. On the I guess America First side, which is how they lined it up on the image anyway. It looks like we have the red-headed libertarian lady and Clint, and I forgot. Those are the only two people that I really recognized. And then, oh, and of course the person running it. I remember seeing Brennan Straka. I remember seeing him not around in person or anything, obviously. I mean, like, online. I remember seeing content with him online back in, like, I don't know, 2016-ish? Something like that. Maybe, I think it was around that time. I don't even know, like, years all blend together after a while. But I haven't seen anything with him in it, let alone hosted by him in, like, I don't even know, however, what, like 10 years now, I guess? Wow, that's a lot of years. Let's not count years anymore. That is, getting... Ugh. We're not doing that anymore. Let me get my window pulled up so I can pull up the chat. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Okay. I know how to work things. I am familiar with the way this works. Oh, okay. I know buttons. I swear this isn't my first time. Just screaming. Okay. I found it. It's been a while, okay? It's been like a week. Or something. Something like a week. Okay, let me pull this up. I've got it now. Oh, and I have to do the links too, because I haven't done the links yet or anything. Need this one. And I'm gonna put you guys up here. Oops. Up here. Oh, come on. There you go. And I need this over here. There we go. And okay. Now we're in business. Rick, now you were first with the parrot emoji. I was surprised that people enjoyed the parrot sounds. I definitely was not enjoying it while the filming was going on for the most part. There were a few parts where it was really funny and I couldn't help it, but laugh, but it was so funny. But it was difficult. I left in some parts because I was like, okay, this is funny, and some parts like I kind of had to because otherwise I would have had to re-record the whole thing. So, but like 90% of it got cut out. So if the parrot does make another appearance, it's probably gonna have to be something like that again, where I end up using like a few bits of it because otherwise it's gonna get. I'm used to him, so I can kind of ignore if I want to focus on something else. But if you're not used to the parrot, it can get annoying. Like, it's all fun and games for a few squawks here and there, but if you're just trying to listen to something and it's like constantly shrieking over you, like that's not great. And he usually doesn't even do that. He was overall a pretty good bird until like a month ago when he's got his hormonal period, bird period or whatever. And now he's like screeching all over the place. So it's wonderful. It's a wonderful time. Naz, welcome back. Wee wee. Professor Hizzle. Phantom. Hi everybody. Yes, I was very late. I apologize. It does look bright. I hope that the brightness resolves the blurriness problem. But yeah, this is hopefully it doesn't have to be this bright all the time, because it's not as bright as it could be. It's like at least this light is like at the lowest setting possible. But it's still, I'm used to being in the dark. So this is different. Gavin, I thought he was going to be on the America First side. The name sounds familiar, but yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to look at it here in a minute. I think they're gonna probably like tell us who the people are and stuff beforehand. Oh, I don't know what that is. Re-examination. Hello. Oh, I missed one. Okay. Not a vampire. I am definitely not a vampire, but I have been accused of being such before. All right. Let's kind of get into it. Oh, I forgot the links. Okay, I'll do the links. So yeah, of course, with the Kirk stuff, so I made this video and I was like, oh, finally, Candace is out of the country. I'm actually gonna have something before Candace has something, and I managed to get it in because she was like a day late. So it's always fun because like most of the time when I figure something out or I'm working on something, Candace like tends to drop it like that day. And it sucks when you're like, oh wow, I found something really cool. I'm gonna be like the first one to show people, and it's like exciting, and then someone else just does it like right before you're ready, or like you're still editing. And for like a one-person show, it's to be expected, obviously, but it still kind of sucks. Like, oh, you found something and you're like so excited to show people, and they're like, oh yeah, we've seen that. Not that I get that reaction, but I'm sort of picturing that reaction, and it makes me like, oh. But I have been seeing other channels cover. Remember the stuff we covered on the last live where we went through like the Charlie Kirk show channel and everything? I have been seeing people cover that, like the Andrew Clovett putting himself on the thing, like way after I did. So I think I might have found that one first. I'm not sure. It usually doesn't happen that way because I'm like literally I have like my primary job, and then this is my secondary job. And yeah, so it's with the limited time and resources I have, it's nice to like be the first to do something. It's always exciting. I need to get my link thing. Okay, there it is. And yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what this is about because we haven't done a bunch of like politics related stuff in a little bit, so it's gonna be fun to cover that. Do a bit of change of pace, a little bit of change of pace around here. There's there's too much Erika around here. I really wanna. I wanna use the. I really want another April Fool's because I have content I want to do, but it would be weird to do on a non-April Fool's, and it would be so fun. Maybe I should start like an April Fool's tradition, but I feel like I'm not large enough of an influence to start new traditions. But what if we had an April Fool's type of day like every month or something where everybody just got to go and I don't know, make weird out there stuff that's completely crazy. Okay, I gotta do these links quickly because I'm gonna. This is getting confusing and ridiculous. Okay, I got that one. I gotta get this one. What's going on here? Oh, Discord is so confusing. I think one time I was accidentally like in a Discord room, like the audio one on some channel, and I didn't even know I was in there. I mean, I mute when I'm not talking the microphone, so it's not like I was accidentally talking to anyone or anything, but I was like, my avatar, I guess, was in there, and yeah, I hate it when that happens. I don't know if anybody has had problems like that, but sometimes like I accidentally click on it and it's like, yeah, I don't know if that's a common issue, but it's hard to tell. Like sometimes you want to see like what's in there, but you don't want to like be in the room. And I was like, oh, what's that? And then it's like puts you in there. It makes no sense. I really do hope that Discord gets a replacement, which I know there are different companies that are trying to be like the new Discord, but it's kind of like with Facebook and all these other companies. I know Facebook is sort of dying off because young people don't use it as much. And actually, I think it seems like the easiest way to get people to switch to a new platform is to get boomers on it. If you just invite boomers onto the platform, the young people will have to go somewhere else. So that's one way that could be done. If we just invite boomers on Discord, then all the young people can go and find another more like privacy oriented platform. I mean, I know that there's cool boomers out there, not like everybody, but I mean, come on. The only reason that the country is the way that it is right now is because of boomers. Like we can't. There's no denying that. There's so many different breakdowns I've seen for how people have voted, and every single time the breakdown is, like under 50 is like something reasonable, and over 50 is people that are just like eating the propaganda fed slop and they're just like devouring it. And now we all have to live with it because people fall for shit and they think they know better. And although I think everybody thinks they know better, but not everybody actually knows better. Actually, haven't done that actuallys in a while. I'm sure it gets kind of annoying after a while. I can't like keep stopping every time I say say a word. I really want to though, but I gotta stop doing that. Okay, I think. Yep. Okay, I'm getting close to done here. But yes, it does seem like if boomers just didn't vote, imagine how different the country might be. But then again, I don't know because it's like there are a lot of younger people that also fall for the fed slop, so it's hard to say. But the breakdowns don't lie. Well, unless they do lie. I don't know. See, like, things could be lying constantly and we wouldn't really know it. But even the things that we think might be the real deal, like real data, could be all lies. Like, at some point we just gotta say, like, well, we have to trust something at some point, otherwise nothing is real at all, and then it gets very, very confusing very quickly. All right, I'm done with the links, and we'll get into watching this particular thing here. So yeah, Bread and Straka has not been around as far as I know, but looking at the channel, oh, let me pull it up. I had it up earlier. But looking at the channel, it looks like it has been doing stuff, and it's not a small channel. Let me switch to the other view here in just a second. Maybe you can do a special troll channel or something for those videos. That's a good idea. That way it doesn't mess with my regular stuff, because I know, even though it was April Fool's, I know some people really were confused about the April Fool's video. I got some people in the comments being like, well, how could you say that? Rights are totally real. It's like, I agree. So I don't know if April Fool's is not observed everywhere in the world or something. I mean, it stands to reason, but that's not a bad idea. You can look at the chat without entering them. Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. I gotta probably look at how that works more. Inviting boomers to a platform to get the young people off is a boomer thing to do. Oh no. Actually, at least there's an emoji for it, so everyone thinks they know better, but I actually know better. Dropping all those actuallys in here, y'all. If you welcomed, welcome back. It's the normies, not boomers, but I guess the majority are boomers. Yeah, I guess boomers is kind of like a catch-all term for people that aren't, like, with the times, I guess. All right. I think I'm all caught up here. Let me put this up here properly. And where are we at? Oh, is this it? No, there it is. Let's do this one now. There we go. Oh, that looks a little big. I'll make it a little smaller. A little smaller. A little smaller. Okay. That seems like it's probably gonna be alright. It's probably fine. We'll see how the layout of the video is, but let me just show you what I'm looking at here. Yeah, so this is apparently a relatively popular channel. I just didn't know that this was still a thing. Like I said, the last time I have even heard of this person was like way, like years ago. Oh, it's 2018. I was like 2 years off. Okay. So in May 2018, he was like, oh, I'm walking away from the Democrats, and then I guess other people started doing it. But yeah, now this is like a channel with stuff on it. So there's other things besides. So this is the one we're going today, and it looks like it's been a pretty regular poster of things. So I don't know. I just haven't. I didn't know that this person was still making content. Is basically all I'm saying. So I was just surprised to see that he's still around doing stuff. Not that I particularly had any feelings, positive or negative, of him in the first place. Anyway, it was just kind of like a, oh, okay, cool, person exists kind of thing. But this is cool. It's nice to get people together in a room having conversations where they disagree. That's always nice. So let's start with this one, I guess. It's part 1. Oops, I broke it. There we go. And yeah, I think that looks okay. Should we scoot it down a little bit? No, that looks fine. I think that should be okay. Let me just... Oh. Ever since I switched this view to not be completely full screen, it's always throwing me off that there's parts of the video on... Not the video. There's parts of the page on the screen that aren't the video. So that's always... I'm like, how do there's this little white part here? But I don't know, it might be helpful for people to know like what the title and stuff is if they want to watch it themselves and they don't want to hear me blab over it. So I guess we can leave it up. And let's sort of get into it, and then I'll position myself in a different spot that is convenient, maybe in the middle. If they start doing stuff, well, maybe we should start with that. If they start doing like a people on one side, people on the other side thing. There we go. Let me put myself right here. Ta-da! Okay. Let's see what this is about. Professor Hoodoo! Welcome back. Alright, let's get into it. That seems a little loud. Is it a little loud for you guys? Maybe it's just the intro.
I'm Clint Russell, and I am America First.
Oh, look, it's Clint.
Emily Wilson, and I'm America First.
I have heard of Emily Saves America, but I've only heard of her when... So this thing happened, I don't know if this was a few months ago, but there was this thing happening on X where some chick posted her wedding ring. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this particular saga, but some like right-wing influencer chick posted her wedding ring, and I guess other people started posting, like responding to it in not a great way, and a bunch of different right-wing women started sort of having a shit-throwing cat fight in the thread of that wedding ring situation, and then Pearl tossed herself in there, and they were all like saying crazy stuff. And that is the only time I have heard of this Emily person. Is the Emily Saves America was her handle, and she was part of that whole shit-throwing situation. I don't know if we went... Maybe we'll cover that at some point. It's just been kind of a while now, so I don't know if people really care anymore. People who probably cared might have already seen it, and people that have seen it have already seen it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do something like... do an overview at some point for fun at the end of a stream or something. Chad Schroyer. Oh, you said Clint Russell. I thought you said Kurt Russell. I was like, oh. Not someone I would expect to be a debate bro. It could be interesting. Yes, Clint Russell. Has Emily saved America yet? I'm waiting. I don't think that's really gonna happen, but you know what? I'm not gonna take nothing from her, so, well.
My name is Owens, and apparently I'm a panikin.
Josie Glayback, America Only, Libertarian.
My name is Al Jacoby, and I'm on Team America.
David Pollock, Team MAGA.
Hi, I'm Gavin McInnes, and I'm still MAGA.
I'm Linda Carolina, and I'm MAGA.
I'm Brendan Strock. I'm tonight's moderator. Wish me luck. For years, millions of Americans didn't just support a political movement. They believed in it. They believed MAGA would disrupt a broken system, expose corruption, and finally hold powerful people accountable. They believed the DC swamp would be exposed and dismantled, that elections would
Owen Schroyer, obviously, that was the other one I saw in there.
Be secured, that
Duh.
letter agencies would be deweaponized.
He's only introduced himself like 2 minutes ago. I don't know what I was thinking.
That fraud would be rooted out, that government would shrink instead of...
Oh yeah, was it... Okay, is this guy the... This is the only guy from this side who looks familiar, this mustache beard guy. Is he British? I have a feeling he's British. I think somebody said his name in the chat earlier. I forgot. Gavin. Is this Gavin? this looks like a Gavin. I have seen this person before. I have not heard much from this person, but yep, that is, oh, Naz says that is Gavin. Okay. I thought so. That is the only person who I sort of remotely recognize, but I've seen him like once on something. I don't know who anybody else is over here. Like, not a clue. Completely not even remotely familiar. I'm not like, huh, that looks sort of familiar. Nope, nothing. Zero. Like, completely zero. No idea who the people are. It doesn't look like the Gavin I knew IRL. Well, why would he, Rick? No.
Expand, that illegal immigration would be stopped, our borders enforced, and that struggling Americans would come first, no exceptions. That was the promise of MAGA. But some people here tonight, and many of you out there, believe that something has changed. So here's the question hanging over this debate tonight. Is MAGA still MAGA? What has changed that has caused once staunch supporters of President Trump and the MAGA movement to walk away? Tonight, we're cutting through the propaganda, the narratives, and the safety of shitposting online and bringing polarized conservatives together face to face to find the truth in the divide and to ask if this separation can be fixed. On one side, we have people who were all in, who defended, promoted, and fought for MAGA and President Trump, who now say they no longer recognize what the movement has become. They want answers about unkept promises, about accountability that hasn't come, about decisions that don't line up with what they say they voted for. On the other side, we have people who are still firmly...
Those chairs are very large. They look... I can't decide if they look comfortable or not comfortable because they're so boxy, but you can really like sink in them, it looks like. I don't know.
behind President Donald Trump, who argue that the mission is intact, that progress is...
They almost look like, because of how large the chairs are, everybody sitting in them almost looks comically small. You know what I mean? Like they all look somehow way smaller than they probably are.
Is real, and that the criticism you're hearing is either misguided, premature, or flat out wrong. And here's what we're putting on the table tonight. The war in Iran, our relationship with Israel, the weaponization of our government, and what is or isn't being done about it, the Epstein files, and the question of accountability for those who abused power and privilege to harm innocent people in our country for so many years. The role of media figures, influencers, and insiders, who's being paid and who isn't, to make you believe a narrative that is not true. And yes, we are naming names, from Laura Loomer to Candace Owens, from Tucker Carlson to Mark Levin, from elected officials like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, and Lindsey Graham, to figures inside the system like Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, and Todd Blanche. No one and nothing is off limits. Because here's the reality. A movement that can't stand up to being questioned is not a movement, it's a cult. And a base that's told to stop asking questions is not being led, it's being controlled. So tonight, we're going to find out something very simple. Is MAGA still about truth, accountability, and putting America first?
That's hilarious.
Or has it become something else? And are people just now starting to notice? So let's begin. Tonight's debate is what we're calling a dinner table debate, which means that it's open forum. You guys are allowed to interrupt
Where's the food?
each other. You're allowed to interject, speak whenever you want. I'll only get involved if it becomes hostile.
If I got invited to something that was called a dinner table debate, I would be so upset if there was no food served. I hope they fed them.
Or disrespectful, which we don't really
Sorry, probably not relevant.
anticipate. So I want to start with sort of a round robin exercise, which is basically to have each panelist go one by one for 1 minute, describing what you feel to be the problem with the other side. And we'll start with the America First team, and then we'll give the MAGA team the final word. So why don't we start with Owens Schroyer?
Well, I'll make it short and sweet. I supported President Trump because he was anti-establishment. I went to political battle for President Trump because I believed he would be an agent of change in Washington, D.C. And now that we're into his second administration and he's not going to be on the ballot again, I feel like he's abandoned the change agent. I feel like right now it should be the Democrats that are panicking. I feel like right now it should be the deep state that's in turmoil. But it's not. It's the American right. It's the former Trump base. And it's back to politics as usual. More war in the Middle East, donors and foreign interests running the show. And the people continue to struggle. It's not what I voted for. We need an agent of change in the White House. So far, Trump hasn't been it.
Clint, go ahead.
I second what Owen had to say about it, but also I take this particularly personally because Trump came to Libertarian convention. I had debated with Vivek Ramaswamy the day prior, and they made a ton of promises to us, very explicit promises. They were obviously going to avoid wars in the Middle East. They failed on that. They talked about going after the deep state. Where? It hasn't happened at all. There's been no prosecutions whatsoever. The Epstein cover-up was atrocious. Trump's attempts to get us to move our attention on has been one of the most insulting things I've ever experienced in my life. Even when they do good things, like shutting down USAID, they roll it into the State Department under Marco Rubio. It's just so obviously a replacement of the existing swamp with a masked version of it.
The USAID thing, I have to force myself to say it properly because a lot of people say it as aid, and then it makes you think of like, oh, they're helping people with their like malaria medication or whatever, and now doing all this other crazy stuff. And that was when I first heard that they were getting rid of it, I was like, yes, finally. And then I heard that, oh, well, really, they're just going to get rid of all the stuff that is not costing us much, but really helps people. And then all the stuff that we really want to get rid of, they, like Clint said, they're just rolling into other departments. Like, they're not getting rid of it. They're just they're just, like, reorganizing it, I guess. So it, on paper, it sounds like, oh, this thing is now gone, but really, they only got rid of the few good things that it really did, and all the bad things are still being done. So, come on.
The same, and I think that my camp is done with it.
Josie.
The day that President Trump got shot.
Word. I don't know. I think that was like between the first two people, it should be like mic drop. I don't know what else there is to discuss here, but there's like hours of content. So
That is the day that I said, all right, I'm on board. I'm gonna join the coalition, and we're gonna do this. And Trump had, as I echo Clint, Trump had come to our convention, and he made us 32 promises. And of those promises were that he was going to obliterate the deep state, that he was gonna get the neocons out, that he was gonna chase away the globalists.
did you say 32? I didn't realize it was that many. I heard of a few, and I don't remember. I think I watched some of where he actually spoke at the convention, but I don't know if I watched the full speech that he did. And obviously, I remember the one where he did end up, the one that he fulfilled pretty much right away, the Silk Road guy, Russellberg. So that one I was pretty happy about, and that was nice. But that really should have been a start. And instead of being a start, that was kind of the end of it. It was the start and the end of it. But, you know, good for us.
That he was the president that never started a new war. It was going to be a very libertarian presidency, is essentially what we were sold. And, you know, in those first 3 months that he was in office, he did the two genders. You know, he got the trans identifying males out of the women's sports, and that was wonderful. He secured the border. So he's fulfilling promise after promise after promise, and then it was like a switch flipped.
Emily.
I think he's just turned on his voter base a little bit, and the way he attacks Republicans makes no sense to me. I voted 3 times in my life. Every time was for Trump, and I also dedicated my life to supporting Trump in Los Angeles, of all places. And it's just the way he has been like, oh, my voter base is turned. It's like, well, you kind of turned on us. And I think the Epstein files is like horrific. If there was anything you could mess up, that was like the most fucked up thing he could do. But in general, yeah, it's kind of become embarrassing to be Republican. I can only defend him and his actions and the words he says so many times before. I'm like, why would you speak like that on camera? Like, it's just kind of unbelievable. So I have definitely stepped away a little bit and faced backlash, but I still think he's done good things. I'm not like end of days, but in general, I expect a lot more. And Fauci should be in prison.
So let's switch now to Team MAGA, and same question for you.
Oh, she said Fauci should be in prison, not he should be, like Trump. Okay, she said Fauci should be in prison. For a second there, I thought, and then I thought about it a little bit. Yeah, she said Fauci. Okay.
1 minute each. Can you please tell us, what do you feel like is the problem with the other side?
My trouble with you guys is I feel like you jumped off the train at the first sign of trouble. Yes, Iran is very complicated. It's a huge...
What do you mean the first sign of trouble? They just listed like 500 signs of trouble. Which one was the first? What do you mean the first? Can you count, bro?
high-stakes chess move, and I am confident...
A high-stakes chess... Oh no, it's gonna be one of those. It's one of those where he's like, you guys, he's got this like 4D chess plan. He's got a plan, y'all. He's gonna... It looks bad right now, okay? But if you just stick with him, okay? You gotta trust the plan.
I don't see it as a war. I don't see this as a quagmire. But separately, I'm very happy with Trump so far because I'm a culture guy. And the gender thing is over. Calling someone a racist is over.
All of that is over. That's just gone. Over. We're not even talking about it anymore. Okay, sure. That's interesting world that person lives in, but it doesn't seem like it's reality.
Woke is over, and that we've been dealing with that since Obama, since 2008. And now you look at the left protesting, it's a bunch of old ladies with no king signs. They're the uncool side, finally. And I thank Trump very much for that because I think politics is downstream from culture, as Breitbart said, and we're winning the culture. And by the way...
What? Is this guy delusional? This is straight up delusional. I don't even know what to say to that. That's like none of that reads true to me. I can't think of a single thing that he just said that I'm like, yeah. Now that I think about it, that's really how the world seems to be right now. I mean, I sort of agree that I'll give him one thing. Like, it is uncool to be with the whole like the protesting thing is kind of uncool, but it's becoming cool again because of how uncool Trump is being. So maybe there was a period of time where protesting from the left point of view, where left-wing protesters were uncool, but that's sort of in the past now too. So even that part is no longer true because of, well, Trump. Like, he had everything and he threw it away for another country. How many signs of trouble do we need before running off a cliff? Exactly. I don't know if this guy can count, honestly.
Winning the culture also means political things like immigrants don't feel safe sneaking into here and terrorists don't feel safe bombing us.
Eyal.
I think
And they don't feel safe bombing us. Didn't we have like, how many members of a military died when Iran had to retaliate and bombed our bases in that area? Didn't Americans die? I think there were like 13 or something. I forgot the exact count. I apologize. I want to say it was like 13 American service members died for no good reason. I think we were safer before. I think it's pretty obvious that if you don't attack other people, they are less likely to attack you. And if you start attacking other people, they are way more likely to start attacking you and bombing us and whatever. Like, this is so counterintuitive that okay.
love or hate Trump.
I'll let them talk. I'm not gonna, yap the whole time. So.
An individual, and when we go topic by topic tonight and discuss each promise, I can point to a specific timeline when he said in 2016 when he was campaigning, in 2020 when he was campaigning, and 2024 when he was campaigning. And so I think this mass hysteria, this doomerism that's happening is purely fueled by clicks online and how to derive the most outrage from the American people. I think it's a demoralization op to make Americans feel guilty and ashamed of being an American. And I think when you look at what Trump promised and what he's doing, they're the exact same. And I think the only thing that you could say is that, number one, you weren't paying attention. Number two, you were blindly part of a cult that didn't exist in 2024. And I think now specifically it is driven by mass clicks online, largely driven by foreign entities who would like to see Americans divided and the Republicans lose in 26 and 28.
Linda.
I pretty much agree with everything that he's saying. I think a lot of this is, to be honest with you, a psychological operation similar to COVID. I think for these two individuals, the libertarians, they need to know their place in the coalition. They were never MAGA. I've looked at other tweets. I know who they are. There was not 32 promises made to libertarians. There were 20 promises made to the American people, Agenda 47, which do not include a lot of the things that Josie said. As far as Owen, he has a personal vendetta against Trump because he thinks that Trump should just have his own personal revenge. Emily, I know she hasn't tuned out exactly, but I think as far as the Epstein files, I completely disagree. I'm an Epstein freak, as I told you, and I think the case has been completely misrepresented by figures, Alex Jones and others, to have clicks and views, and there's no such thing as a massive panic pedo elite raping children.
Shots fired. All right, David.
Wow. I don't think I've heard this much cope since, like, whatever the last Andrew Wilson debate we watched. This is such cope.
issue I have with the other side is that they want to indoctrinate our children in schools and bring them out into protest into the street when they don't even know what communism Marxism is, but yet they're marching behind that banner. The other side wants to put us in jail. The other side wants to see that we have no say in our elections. The other side wants us to open up the border so we have no representation, so they can murder and rape our women in the United States. That's the other side. They're not the other side. They're just a different side of our coin. And I think this is a healthy discussion because we can disagree on policy, but we have to remember who the other side is. It's not them. And I think this discussion is necessary.
Yes, let's stoke the division in this country. That's what we need, more division, more them versus us. That's lovely.
Because we can show who the other side is, that we can disagree with each other and still love America. The other side hates America. The other side doesn't want this happening. So that
I neither agree nor disagree with this particular point. I know that there are people on the left that you could classify as hating America, but honestly, right now, there's a lot to hate. So maybe they're not wrong for doing so. And if your government is acting out of whack, do they deserve to be loved and respected and adored? No. If our government is basically at the beck and call of another like random small country in the Middle East for whatever crazy reason, like whatever they have on their politicians, whatever it is, it's clearly not good for the country. So to say that, oh, well, they hate America, maybe these politicians don't hate America, but they're clearly not, I don't even know what the right word here is. They don't put America first. That's what the movement is called. I don't know how else to say it. They are clearly not putting us first, and they should be. If you are a politician in this country, this is the country that you should be prioritizing. These are the people, our people that live here, our citizens should be the priority. They're clearly not. So this is just cope. No, yeah. Stop the madness. It's up to us. Hello, Michelle. My son is 16, politically minded, and very open to discussion. Well, that's good. It's good to be open to discussion.
That's the other side. I have no issue with their saying.
So I want to start tonight by playing a clip of this administration's campaign promises from 2016 through 2024, and then open up the floor to both sides.
I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy.
We're going to bring those prices way down.
A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper. Groceries, cars. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. When we win back the White House, we will have no higher priority than ending the weaponization of this horrible legal system. I am the candidate of peace. I am peace. People don't believe that.
I am peace. Oh boy, that does not read good. I am peace.
A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars, not start them.
These endless wars that we've been in, I've gotten us out of so many. We don't want to get into wars. We're tired of fighting. I'm the only president in the last 84 years that didn't start a war. Under Trump, we will have no more wars. No more wars. No more wars. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled.
Would you declassify?
Oh yeah, what happened to that? That's still going on. What happened to no more weapons for Ukraine? We're still supporting them. Like, sure, it's technically, oh well, Europe, we have like a Europe middleman now, but it's essentially the same thing. Like, we're still, that's a whole another thing I can't even get into. That's gonna take all day.
The Epstein files.
Yeah, I would. All right, I guess I would.
Last night.
I do find it interesting that a lot of people pretend like the Ukraine thing doesn't, like, it's not even happening anymore. It's been going on for so long. It's just like, yep, still there. Still the same. I don't know if it's because people have sort of gotten accustomed to it, or because we have suddenly much, much bigger issues going on. I'm leaning towards the latter because the whole small country in the Middle East basically controlling our politics, that's kind of an emergency, I think. So I don't know. That's my best guess at it. Carl, welcome. I guess I'm close to being a boomer, but don't you think boomers are more invested in outcome of events? Since they have kids, families, properties, they're invested in more ways than one. I think a lot of them probably are. That's probably the case. But also, it's not necessarily... I think because they are voting, that does show that they are invested. What my point kind of was about boomers earlier is that they may not be up to date. Like, they'll sit there and watch Fox News and they won't know that there's this online discussion happening. Like, a lot of them don't use the internet in the ways that, maybe a little bit, like they'll go on Facebook and look at their grandkids or whatever, but a lot of them don't really use the internet like younger people do. So they might not have all the information that younger people have.
Trump said he's thinking about using 20% of the savings to pay down debt and giving another 20% to Americans. That could potentially mean checks up to $5,000.
Waging war on government waste, fraud, and abuse, and They're curbing inflation and saving taxpayers billions and billions of dollars every single day.
And we're going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs because we've taken in literally trillions of dollars.
So, have President Trump and this administration's agenda radically shifted from its core message that people voted for? And if not, how do we explain the discrepancy between these campaign promises and what people are seeing?
Well, I'd say the tape pretty much speaks for itself. I think the challenge is going to be upon them to explain how any of that has happened. The only thing I heard on that tape that has happened to this day is that the border is secure. Nothing else that he says in that video, none of it has happened.
Be specific. What hasn't happened?
We haven't deported millions of illegals.
We have deported 2.5 people. 2.5 million people.
2.5 million.
Yes,
in fact,
we have.
In fact, Trump has deported less than Barack Obama.
You just said you liked the border. That was the only good
No,
thing.
we haven't.
The border is different.
Illegal crossings are down at like zero.
The border is different.
Okay, who cares? We have the war thing. That's honestly, if we're gonna have wars, I think most people that voted for Trump are probably voted for him because of the no new wars thing. Because literally, there are very few people in America that, no matter what the age, that are like, why are we doing this war thing still? Why are we doing that? We shouldn't be doing that. And every time that the people vote against the wars, the government still takes us into the wars. So this is just another example of that. So regardless of anything else that he did, I think the biggest issue is he is bringing us into war.
And the deportations.
Obama deported 3.1 million people in 8
granted,
years.
Obama,
8 years.
who deported
Obama deported 3.1.
Is she doing bird hands? She's doing bird hands. She's doing bird hands, y'all.
3.1 million people in 8 years.
In 8 years. She's doing the bird hands.
Obama
We have
fudges those
done
numbers.
2.5 million.
He includes turnaways.
So when Trump comes out and says we have to keep the workers here because our economy needs them, so we're not doing mass deportations, how do you explain that?
No, Trump has the largest deportation operation in American history. He literally is still ongoing, and he's actually getting opposition from inside his own party. He's being so effective at it, and we're not even talking about it
So
anymore.
you guys are okay with the deportations?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just a difference.
Remember when adequate after having 10, 15 million come in under Biden alone, and you're going to bring up a 2 million figure? Is it?
Well, that's kind of my point, is look at the quagmire he inherited. 12 million people is more than Ellis Island in its totality.
Right, but that's the whole point, is that if you're going to promise mass deportations and only deliver, as Linda's saying, 2 million.
He's deporting more than any
2.5
president.
million in a year and a half.
He's slowing it down too. Instead
not
of
slowing
He's not slowing it down.
well, that's the rhetoric that they're giving us.
Right, because you guys now propagate fake news.
Listen, this is.
That's what you guys.
I'm listening to Trump.
That's what you guys do.
Literally,
you
it's
guys,
Trump
you
saying
guys push
it.
fake news.
Trump multiple times from the White House has said we have to keep these illegal workers here. That's his own word. So is Trump fake news?
I haven't heard that.
Did you not talk about
You're the one that says we don't pay attention. You
Everything is fake news except for the stuff that I've heard that I agree with. And everything I've heard that I disagree with is also fake news. that's what she's saying. This lady is crazy. I don't know who she is, but that is the copest cope I've ever seen happen on screen. Bird hands emote. We need one. I'm gonna make one. That is a good idea. I'm gonna do bird hands emote for sure. Please remind me if I forget, because I really want to make one of those. Under Obama, the largest number of illegal immigrants were deported, but now with Trump, I believe the number of illegal immigrants entering the country has been reduced to record lows. What's with the sliver in the middle of the screen? What do you mean? Is it still there? I don't see it on my screen. Let me know if you still see it. Under Obama, the largest number... Oh, I think that might have been a double post. Is there something else? Let me play this and see if... Looks like it's gone. Oh, weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me know if it comes back.
You seem to not
Did
pay
I say you
attention.
don't pay attention? I said you're
That's what seems to
spreading
be the
fake
case
news,
here.
and you have.
And yet you can't say what's the fake news?
Everything you
How can you accuse me?
everything you
Hold on,
post,
how can you
everything you
accuse
post
me?
on social media is fake news. Everything.
Sure,
And now you post.
Everything? Oh, she switched from bird hands to what is this? Turkey hands? You know how when kids draw a turkey, they put their hand up and they trace it, and then they add the little like face on the thumb or whatever. She's doing the turkey. Now it's I haven't seen anyone do turkey hands right after doing bird hands, but a turkey is also a bird, so this is like bird hands next level. Next level bird hands is turkey hands. Oh, no worries. Chat was glitching on screen just the top corner part. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, hopefully it doesn't come back.
Socialist talking points from Kamala Harris's fact check post. That's what you do now. You're a socialist now.
You just admitted you don't pay attention to the Trump administration.
I do pay attention. I'm sorry to pay attention to that
you don't even know
I'm sorry to pay. That's why I said
Real quick, I did see something about Trump, and he was talking about like wanting to keep illegals when it comes to farming and agriculture and all those things. And I was like, okay, that's not what I personally
Linda, have you seen that or not?
I have
Yeah,
not.
but we're
I would
going
love to see
nuanced
it.
here. Because he said we have to keep some illegals here for farm work, etc., doesn't mean he's against deporting illegal
don't
aliens.
have those visas.
You keep doing these blanket statements. Yes, he did say that we need to keep some illegals here. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to deport as many as humanly possible.
But is that not an obvious concession to his
But why did he
That's
want to
what
keep
the presidency is about. It's
But
about
why? Hold on. Why? He's in his second term. Did we not get promised extraordinary measures, and is he delivering on them?
Nobody serious can ever argue that Trump is not stopped.
What is this guy's? Every time this guy talks, I'm like taken aback. And I'm not trying to like make fun of him or anything, but I don't know. Sometimes, every time he speaks, I'm like, what is going on? Are my headphones broken? It's just a very unusual tone. I, for one, am glad immigration, particularly illegal immigration, has reduced. I don't disagree. I am on a border state and saw a huge surge of people during Biden, which has affected housing. I don't disagree with you. I actually do agree with that. I do have issues with the way that immigration has. Some of the ways that ICE has been behaving, and some of the ways like. We've covered this, I don't know, was it closer to winter? I think, maybe like half a year ago, whenever all that stuff was happening, we were covering it on this channel. But they dragged some little Asian man out of his house in his undies for no particular reason. Like, there are big issues with it. But to say that there's issues with ICE, that is not to say that, like, we shouldn't have the program at all. It's just, if they are going after the lowest hanging fruit versus like going out there and, trying to get the people who are like the worst offenders first, I would rather the people who've been here for like 20 years and have a little like selling tacos or whatever for their community for the past 20 years and have a family, like I think those should be at the bottom of the list. By the time that they get to those people on the list, they probably won't be around anymore. Like, there's so many people that I think should be higher priority, but because they're more difficult to get, is my opinion, it's probably why they're going after the easy pickings. And yeah, I mean, the whole program is a disaster. But again, not that people shouldn't be removed that came in here and broke the law and literally, even Biden was saying, surge the border. Like, at some point, we have to draw a line. We can't have people just coming in here willy-nilly all over the place, because where do you draw the line? At some point, you have to be like, no, and put your foot down, because we are one country. We are a pretty big one, but we can't support literally everybody on the planet coming here. That's not going to work. It doesn't work. So I think this woman is going to scold everyone afterwards and call them liberals. I think that is likely to happen. I'm kind of getting the same read here. The bird hands lady. I went back and saw it too as a bit of the chat thing pops up on screen. Oh, weird. If it happens again, let me know. Maybe I'll look back on it later and see if I can fix it. Let's do the speaking in 4K. That's a good description of it. I agree with your statement. Grandmas are harmless. Resources are not limitless. Yep. I mean, we can only handle so many people, and especially, it's one thing to have immigration kind of slowly over time, like there's a trickle. That's one thing, and countries, especially big ones, can usually handle that sort of thing. But when there are huge, drastic changes with literally millions of people within a couple of years, it's not sustainable. It throws everything out of whack, and we suffer for it.
Border invasion that's happening and not mass deported. That's not you guys can't be serious right now. 2.3 million people have been deported in 1.5 years. Asylum claims 2 years ago were at 50%. Today they're at 7%. The border, 12 million people came into the country under Biden. 2.3 million have left. There's no net new migration into this country right now.
That's pretty good.
I actually can't see where you're.
We're not even getting back to baseline of Trump when he left office, and you guys are taking victory laps as
How
if that's.
quickly
We're not taking victory laps. We're saying the work is getting done. We're not taking victory laps.
Who's taking a victory lap?
What is the number that you guys? I'd like to see at least 10 million people.
2.3 million.
I'd love that. So what's the number?
2.3 million people in a year and a half is sufficient to us to say that, and shutting down the border, which is a huge victory for this country. You're saying that that's not sufficient. The burden is on you to tell us what would a sufficient number be for Owens.
I'd say at least 10 million in 4 years at a minimum.
And propose a plan for the Trump administration to deport 4 times when ICE has already been deployed throughout the country. We spent billions of dollars on ICE to deport people.
It does seem like they already admitted that Trump basically carved out special provisions for people that work on farms. So like if you got whatever number of farms with whatever number of illegal immigrants on like per farm, I think if you add all those up, that might be a much larger number than we imagine. So why do we get special carve-outs for these special things? And then, once one sector, it was agriculture, they got a special carve-out, or didn't he do a special one for hotels too or something? Maybe he wanted to. But it seems like, oh, well, you get a special carve-out, you get a special carve-out. Well, we won't touch your illegal immigrants or yours. Maybe we'll, do these all these other people first. And eventually you're out of special carve-outs because you've carved out basically all of the large chunks. And so, I don't know. It doesn't seem rational to me. I'll go put in the Jira tickets for the Chet Silver bug and the bird hands emote enhancement. Thank you. I appreciate that. Since we don't have Jira in this organization here, we'll have to settle for Discord. But thank you. I don't want to have nightmares about potential Jira tickets I'm missing. That guy speaks how Andrew Wilson wishes he did if he welcomed. Damn. Am I banned? What? No, of course not. Why would you be banned? There's probably YouTube chat guidelines or something. Yeah, sometimes make sure you have live chat selected, because sometimes it switches to top chat. If you don't see live chat in a little drop down thing at the top, make sure you have live chat, not top chat. And sometimes if it's too spicy, YouTube tends to just like not show things. So that tends to happen sometimes too. But you are not absolutely not banned.
Please give us a plan, a basic plan of how that's going to happen. Well, I'm sure it's going to come up that you're saying prices aren't going down. If we start deporting all the farm workers immediately like that, please explain how prices don't rise for the average American at the grocery store as well.
I love that logic, because that's exactly what you're asking Americans for this war in Iran, to pay more for gas.
We're not talking about Iran right now.
That's logic.
You love switching the topic. We're talking about
logical consistency.
we're talking about
if you're going to ask
deportation.
Americans to pay more for gas for a war in the Middle East for foreign and special interests, but you're not going to ask Americans to pay more to keep Americans employed in our own country?
I'm more than happy to discuss the Iran war. I'm more than happy to talk about the Iran war. More than happy. And it's not going to go well for you. So let's stick to mass.
Whoa. It's not going to go well for you. Okay.
Deportations. I ask you to propose a basic plan for how we can get 4 times the number of people that Trump has currently deported out of the country in a year and a half.
Okay, sure. First of all, if you want to stop the illegals from coming here, you close the border. He's done that. Second of all the people that come here and send money back to their home country, I would tax that at 90%. You're going to come here and work here, you're going to send money overseas, we're going to tax that at 90%. Guess what? They're not going to come here anymore. They're not going to work here anymore. 2, if you're working in this country illegally and we catch you, deport it. No questions asked. Bye. These are
concessions. Do you not think that's happening? Do you not think that's happening?
That is not happening. Trump is keeping
it's happening, but not to a degree.
You think ICE has caught people who...
That side literally just admitted, like 5 minutes ago, that Trump is specifically keeping farm workers here that are not legal immigrants. Did they just forget that they did that? This is so crazy. Maybe not all. Within YouTube TOS, but yeah.
Who are working in this country illegally, check their papers and be like, you're here illegally, and just said, go back?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Can you provide any evidence?
Well, no, hold on, Owen. You talked about the money that's going back to foreign countries. Somalia was the #1 place where actually money, fraudulently obtained money, was being sent to Somalia. And Trump, through a massive operation, stopped that in Minnesota, and we saw what the backlash was. And look at the danger that the ICE agents are facing just because Trump is doing it.
Now that you could maybe blame on Pam Bondi, but that's because we did not take care of these groups that fund and organize this stuff. So
but we are now. Even under Pam Bondi, we started going to Minnesota. We went to California.
Who's been arrested?
Well, there were people.
And there's a
No,
problem.
there have been people
None of
prosecuted.
them.
Yes,
The
there have
people
been.
that organize these
Yeah.
riots and are disrupting ICE, none of them have been arrested. And all we see now is they have some financial crimes that they're investigating for the Southern Poverty Law Center. They're going to get a slap on the wrist.
But there have been people arrested, right? So
There's been plenty of scammers.
It's a great
How many
example.
scammers arrested?
How do we just get, we were talking about mass, let's stick with the topic. Mass deportation.
Let's go.
You still haven't provided
Every single individual. I'll continue.
I don't think it should be up to these 4 people to provide them a plan on how to get these extra 10 million people out of the country. That's something Trump promised to do. So he should be the one who's got a plan and implementing the plan if he promised to do the thing. Why is it now he gets to make all these promises and these random people now have to create the plan for him? If he didn't know that he could do it, he shouldn't have said that he could do it. That seems obvious to me. I don't know why it's not obvious to them. I guess I can't modify my speech enough to take part. What do you mean, Professor Hoodoo? I don't know what you mean. I'm so glad to catch your live. Oh, good. Hello. Welcome.
Iran, talking about Pam Bondi somehow, and you've talked about.
But it's campaign promises. The
question is-
We're not hopscotching here. The current topic was mass deportations. It wasn't sufficient for this panel, so I'm asking them. You said 10 million. What is the number for you?
I think we need to.
10 million is 10,000 a day for the rest of his
Wait,
presidency.
It needs to at least match what Biden let in, at minimum.
Okay,
That's 10,000 a day.
But you don't
That's a
know.
bitch.
You also have to
It's a
take into
nightmare.
consideration the resources. We just funded
If he couldn't do it, he shouldn't have promised that he would do it.
more.
Okay,
DHS just got billions of dollars.
Of course, resources are always an issue.
They're
However-
they're building more holding facilities. All of that takes time. You expect it.
She's doing turkey hands still. Really, that must be there's the bird hands, and then the next level up is turkey hands. It seems to be a thing.
This to get done
And the
what, day one?
DNC is thwarting police work, so we're getting riots at every deportation. 10,000
Oh no, they're all doing turkey hands.
people a day have to leave to get to a number 10 million, and we're getting riots in the streets, people being shot, just as ICE try to do their job, because the DNC has totally crippled law enforcement.
So once again, we're in the business of excuse making, and you're admitting it's not happening.
No,
we never said that.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Nobody's
Can you
serious.
also stop lying? Obama
serious
did
to
in the
say
port.
She's doing bird hands again. I really want that bird hands emoji. Please remind me to make one. Maybe I'm biased, but I'm a lot more sympathetic to illegal immigration due to family dynamics. I think for the most part, it's a net benefit to the country. I think that there is such a thing as too much, though. Kind of like I was saying earlier, there is a certain amount that a country can handle over a period of time. And if it's more or less like a trickle, even like a small stream, I think that's something the country could handle. But to have basically like a surge like we've had over the past few years, I don't think that's sustainable. I think that that's too much, too fast. And while I'm sympathetic to their plight, I just don't think that it's a great outcome for people who are already here, who were either born here or came here legally with working with their paperwork and waiting and going through all of the loopholes and everything. Not loopholes, all of the hoops. My bad. Misspoke there. The best of luck with this podcast. I love it, but I'm being shut down in the chat. I don't know what you're talking about, Professor Hoodoo. I'm sorry you feel that way. Are you sure that you're just not yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I apologize. I really don't know what you mean. But I mean, I'm Resist Depression. Welcome back. Nice to see you. I do wish that I could figure out what you mean, because I absolutely would have an issue if like your chats are being deleted or something. That would be a big problem for me. So okay. We do have to continue though.
More people than Trump. Obama deported 3.1 total people and total million
That includes
in
turnaways.
8 years.
It includes people turning away as well.
Exactly.
Okay, but this also shows that different Republicans want different things when it comes to mass deportation. Some people are like 5 million, 10 people.
No, I
and then
think we
some
all
people
want
like
the
Matt
same
Walsh is like, I want zero
No, I think
in
we
this
all
country.
want. I think we all want everybody deported. I think just the timeline we're talking about. But the thing is, and Linda made a great point with respect to the ramp up to the deportations. There's a lot of people in this country who should have been paroled into the country. They were saying, hey, make sure you come back for your court date. That's cool. But the reason why Biden had to let them go, because so many were coming across, we literally couldn't house them. There's nowhere to put them.
Yeah.
So the ramp up to that was places like Alligator Alcatraz, which, by the way, they're talking about shutting down now because they've deported all the people they had to hold there. So the first step in all of this is to build the facilities to take all the people that we have to hold until we can give them the due process necessary to
But
kick
the
them out.
problem is,
But hold on, one other
where
point.
were they
Yeah.
before? They were all here.
Yes, and we had to
Release.
round them up, and that takes a lot of time. But the other thing is,
That makes me nervous to build these facilities. Okay, there's a few things on the build the facilities. One thing, I guess the first thing, it sounds like an excuse. Oh, we have to build all this stuff first because we can't do it otherwise. Sure, whatever. Sounds like an excuse, but okay. The second sort of level to it is building mass holding facilities for people is concerning to me. We don't have a great track record with that, neither as a species or as a country, to mass house any sort of prisoners. That's generally not the direction I would go. I would say if people are not supposed to be here, just send them home. I don't think we need to necessarily house them anywhere for extended periods of time. I understand maybe like for a day they might have to sit somewhere in some building for a day before we can put them on a plane or whatever. But beyond that, I don't know how many facilities they're talking about, but that sounds kind of concerning to me. I don't know if anybody else kind of feels the same way, but when I hear like mass holding facilities, I'm concerned.
The funding element, the big beautiful bill included tens of millions of dollars to DHS, billions of dollars to DHS to ramp up operations, hire extra agents, to build these facilities. It took a year almost to pass the big beautiful bill, past July 4th of last year, because Republicans were blocking it. And so Trump, through his leadership, got that bill across the board. And if it wasn't for the big beautiful bill, the Democrats would have been able to defund ICE and Border Patrol, which they have tried to do. And so all of that takes time. And so in just a year and a half, we've been able to fight back bad Republicans, build the facility to house the illegals, round them up, get them the hell out, continue the operations. And I think the number of deportations will actually ramp up in the years to come. But I understand, we all want them out immediately.
Can I ask the MAGA team a question?
I think all of our fear here in MAGA Town is that you guys are letting a wolf into the henhouse because you don't like the way the rooster is behaving. If you guys let us lose the house, we've begun a snowball that we can never retract.
So he made us different promises than he made us.
That's
He was
not a
supporting our
different
vote.
promise. How is that a
no, you
different
framed us
promise?
as liars.
You
So-
are,
so
though.
we're
You are,
not.
because you've never been MAGA. Neither has he.
We
hated
never
Trump
said we were
forever.
MAGA.
What is this, like a, oh, that is bright. No true Scotsman situation they're doing there? I can see your comments. Yeah, we can see them. Possibly by there, but I see my chest did not show up and you don't see them. I don't know how many you mean, but I think were there some that I haven't brought up? Do you change the filters or all messages? Yeah, you have to do live chat versus top chat. I don't know if maybe that's the problem. I can see the concerns about it too, and I'm definitely not saying every single person coming in should be here. It's a very conflicting thing for me personally, I guess, so it screws my view a bit. I understand that. The whole topic is not an easy one. There's no easy solution to it, but I do think we have to draw the line somewhere, and sometimes hard decisions have to be made, but the way that we go about it, we have a choice to go about things in as much of a humane way as we possibly can. That is a choice that we have, and I think that's the choice that we should take.
Who here would like to see Alejandro Mayorkas tried for treason?
Patriots, this month the WalkAway campaign turns 8
Whoa.
years from the coast to coast Hispanic vote, vice views recurring donate, so please.
In the years to come, but I understand, we all want them out immediately.
Can I ask the MAGA team a question? Because you just said something really interesting, which is that we all want mass deportations. That's what you said, right? So I think one of the areas of frustration here is that Trump has said recently, we need to take a softer touch on deportations, and two, that he wants to accommodate some illegal immigrants to work here, migrants who are doing field work and things like that. So I think that's where the frustration is. Like, on one hand, everyone seems to be acknowledging this is a huge problem and that we all want mass deportations. But the president is saying he wants to take a softer touch.
It's pure wish casting. I mean, you guys are pretending as if you know that it's going to ramp up from year 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. I have no reason to believe that.
If the funding is there and the preparation is there to, according to the plan that I even told Congress, then yes, we are expecting for deportations to ramp up. Why else would we get billions of dollars in funding to DHS, allocated to CBP, and also allocated to ICE? Because it's supposed to ramp up.
And they're spending it now to operate.
But that doesn't. Just because you fund a government program doesn't mean you actually get results.
Okay, so then how are we supposed to guess it? Like a magic ball? Like how are we supposed to guess that we're going to get deportations?
I think we're on board. The thing that we agree with the most is the border. You guys think it should be a little more than we do. Our argument is like, you put a junkie in rehab, if he goes cold turkey, he can die from withdrawal system.
And just so you know, Brandon, ICE went in front of Congress, and their goal, what they told Congress was, our goal is to deport 1 million a year, which means we're at 2.5. We have already surpassed the million goal that they had, which, in my opinion, I think 1 million is too low a year. But that's what Congress.
Also, I'm not sure if they're counting the people who they literally like turn away at the border as part of the deportations. I've heard that in passing, but I haven't looked into it, so don't like take my word for it. But that is something I vaguely remember hearing somewhere that that number includes people who like come to the border and they're turned away, which isn't exactly going and deporting people who are already here, which is kind of the bigger problem, is the like mass of people that came all at once. I mean, it's good to not let extra people in when we are already past capacity, but I don't know if those really count. If they're counting those, I don't know if they really should be counting those. Messages of getting filtered by YouTube itself didn't pop up for a bit. YouTube isn't as lenient as apparently. Yeah, YouTube is... You can't really predict with YouTube. It's confusing for me as well sometimes.
That's what I said to Congress. This is our goal. It's about 3,000 and something people.
One thing I really wish YouTube would do is if they would just tell you, like, if they could just tell you, like, oh, well, this is the reason that this isn't shown, so don't say that or something. I still would rather them sort of let free speech happen way more than they do. But if they could at least tell you, I think that would be a lot better. A lot of times they just, things disappear and you don't know why. And I don't think that's a great idea for that to happen.
Per day.
Leads to a lot of confusion. I'm not a fan of it. And YouTube is sort of known for that.
It's low, and we're exceeding that expectation.
Well, that would be a total of 4 million at the end of his term,
Right,
which is about 25% of what we're told came in under Biden.
I agree
Here's
with
the big issue with all of this, and I think that's why so many of us are frustrated with people who are frustrated, because we have, what, a few more months before November. And if the Democrats in the minority party were able to shut down ICE, essentially defund the police 2.0, and if we keep hearing from our own side, essentially, it's not enough, and Trump's going back on his promises, well, if people stay home in November, Democrats are going to get elected. And you think Democrats are going to help Trump deport anybody else? And so from our side, at least where I sit...
Sorry, but if you want to blame our side for that...
I'm not blaming your side.
No one's blaming your side.
I'm not blaming
no one's blaming your side.
I'm explaining what he's saying, but I do think that that's the issue, is that if you deported 5 million people in 2 years, you win
Oh no, Owen is sort of doing bird hands too.
midterms, but you're not doing it, and now you're looking.
But by not highlighting the.
I don't know. I don't think it's really bird hands if your pinky is up. I think you gotta bird hands is like all of them together like this, because I think if your pinky is up, it's a little different.
Success we have had, and I would argue we've had a lot of success in the short amount of time considering what we've had to go up against. By not highlighting the wins, and instead our side is highlighting the losses, the net result is our side loses, and it gets even worse for us.
David, I want to hear from Gavin.
Yeah.
He said that he does
fear. I think all of our fear here in MAGAtown is that you guys are letting a wolf into the henhouse because you don't like the way the rooster is behaving. If you guys let us...
What is this analogy? The rooster is behaving. I don't know. It's comical to me for some reason. It really makes you guess. I've had to move on from a thought altogether in other chats. He has his pinky up. It's fancier. If you do have your pinky up, it is always fancier. That is a rule. That is a rule of life. If you pinky, oh no. Well, it seems like we do have some agreement in the chat on one thing. Pinkies are fancier.
Lose the House, we've begun a snowball that we can never retract. The Dems never let evil take root. If the Dems get power back, we're all dead.
But you don't actually think that anybody on this side has more influence than Trump?
No.
So
That's why I'm not
exactly.
worried
So
at all.
if whatever happens in midterms, that's on Trump. That's not on us.
Yeah.
I would like to address Linda's opening statement. Linda, did you go to the Libertarian National Party?
I heard it.
Did you listen to Trump's whole speech?
I absolutely did. When he said he was going to pardon Ross Ulbricht, and he did.
Yeah.
And he was going to roll back.
Okay, you said that there were 20 promises.
Era regulations that you guys
So you said that there were
wanted.
20 promises. So were one of those 20 promises that there would be a Libertarian in the cabinet?
Uh-huh.
Okay, was another one of those 20 promises that there would be a panel of Libertarians to help with the J6?
Isn't that J6 right there?
It sounds like, was there a
Didn't you guys
panel?
get pardoned?
He said that there would be a panel of Libertarians that would go through these. Cases. I'm just saying, was this one of the 20 promises?
No, she's also doing bird hands. She's even got a little like bowl for the bird to take seeds out of.
Because he made us different promises than he made you guys to get our votes. Okay? And some of those promises were that he would get the neocons out of the establishment. He would drive out the globalists.
I didn't hear any of that. The main ones were the crypto stuff, the Ross Ulbricht that he pardoned within the first 20 days.
Yes, okay, he did one thing. We're all very happy about it. You can stop repeating the one thing. Thank you. That'd be great. I'm not sure if I should. Is it Carl or Carla? It's kind of hard to say your full name. I'm sorry. To me, it is clear the way we have laws here, we don't remove emotion from it. I have empathy for immigrants. I am one, but we have to have rules and laws, or we are not a country. I'm sorry, Rick. No, you got there first. All right.
Days, I think.
Direct quote here. Says 2024 is our final battle. With your help, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, the Marxists, and the fascists. That's what he said to us. That was so he made us different promises than he made us.
That's
he was
not a
supporting
different
our
promise.
vote.
How is that a
no,
different
you
promise?
framed us as liars.
You are, though. You are, because you've never been MAGA. Neither has he. He
We
hated
never
Trump
said we were
forever.
MAGA. We're
You've never,
America
you've never
only.
been MAGA. You're not Republican, so I don't really even care to talk to you guys. I'm just here, for the.
So because we're not part of the
All cult members are able to talk then?
So I mean, I considered you MAGA. So why
I
are you
get more for
upset?
MAGA probably than anyone in this room.
Exactly, and I just said.
Does she have anything besides, oh, you're not the real MAGA? Who gives a crap? Like, that chick is crazy.
I agree with you.
So
you're libertarian. So why are you
So
upset?
what? So what? So
what?
Because
are you
You're not part of the party.
coalition.
That's a different party. Why didn't your candidate win? Why don't you guys have a presidential candidate ever win? You get 3.
Speaking of that, I do have this sort of crazy conspiracy theory. I don't know if anybody else feels remotely the same way, but I sort of have this theory that the Libertarian Party might have kind of on purpose selected a person that most libertarians wouldn't vote for as the libertarian candidate so that we had like an excuse to vote for Trump because he promised us all this cool stuff. And if that's the case, I don't blame them, honestly. Like, I was also hoping Trump would do these things, but I've always had this thought ever since they picked Chase that he was so bad that I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't possibly think that wasn't on purpose, like on purpose bad. Because if we had somebody that was really good, then he absolutely would take votes away from Trump. And I know that we're not supposed to play these games as a third party. We're supposed to be like, no matter what, you can never win this two-party game where like trying to vote against the other person, it's never gonna end well. We have one election after the next. Every single election, when people do this, we get burnt. Every single time people are like, well, I would vote for candidate A. They're really great. I agree with like 60% of what they're about, which is probably as high as you can get on the candidate, maybe more. And I think that they probably would be the best person to run the executive branch of this country, but they can't possibly win. And if they can't possibly win, then it's going to be either the Democrats or we have Trump. That's always what they say. Or if they're Democrat, they say, well, your candidate can't possibly win, so it's either we get Trump or we get to vote for whatever, like Biden or Kamala or whatever. And both parties, both sides are like, well, we don't really like our candidate, but if we don't pick our candidate, then their candidate is going to win. And things are going to be like drastically different. And I think that if we learned anything from this particular situation that we're in right now with the last election and how that went and how much hope some of us had, myself included, I think if we learn anything is that trying to vote for somebody hoping that the Democrats won't get in is not going to get us to a better place. We're still going to be, or vice versa, trying to vote for the Democrats so that, Trump or whatever Republican doesn't get in. You're not going to be in a better place. No matter what, things have been getting progressively worse. Every single election, things get worse and worse and worse and worse. So at some point, you just have to vote for who you really think should be there and not worry about, oh, well, this, douche nozzle is better than the shit sandwich. At some point, you got to be like, well, no matter what, it's not like your particular vote is going to matter that much anyway. But if everybody thinks that their particular vote could potentially make the other person, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I need to keep going with this particular thought. I think hopefully I am understood. But it's just so frustrating, you know, that every time we learn the lesson and every single time elections come around and the next like presidential election year rolls around and it's like people forget all the lessons from the previous 4, 8, 12 years. And they're like, well, this time it's different. This time the country is at stake. And if we don't vote this person out or if we don't vote against that person, then everything is going to fall apart. And I really hope that maybe this time the lesson really sticks. Junior, these liberals are a totally pathetic, immoral people. They complain constantly about America, yet never say a single I'm saying word about the horrifically every other country treats its people. Liberals are evil. That is a lot further than I would take it. I think that there are a lot of really good people that really mean well on both sides, but everybody has a different opinion. That is okay. I'm voting for the douche nozzle person. They complain they're the old miserable lady party, and that's all they are. I think that some of them are for sure like that, but I don't think that's all of them. And I think seeing people as one-dimensional, regardless of party, is probably not gonna get us anywhere good. But you do you.
30% of the fucking vote. You need to know your place in the coalition. You need to know your place in your coalition. And if you don't want to support,
What is this lady's problem? She's constantly like the only thing she's saying on repeat is like, "Oh, you're not the real MAGA. You're not the real MAGA. Know your place." No, like she doesn't have anything else. This is the only thing she's repeating over and over with her bird hands.
I don't seem to understand how.
Oh wait, now it's fish hands. My bad. She's doing fish hands. Like the fishy swimming.
I love this. We're both irrelevant, and also we're gonna cause the GOP to lose in the midterms. Josie.
Oh, that's actually a great point that Clint said there. I know that we kind of rolled over that pretty fast, but that is something every election year where it's like a presidential election, that is something that I hear constantly. The same people are going to be like, oh, well, libertarians, they can't possibly win. They're basically, like, there's only a few of them anyway. They're basically nothing. And then they're constantly like, libertarians, they can't possibly, like, how dare you vote for your guy? You have to vote for our guy because if you vote for your guy, then our guy is going to lose. Like, wait a minute. I thought we were irrelevant and it doesn't really matter what we vote for. But if we don't vote for your guy, he's going to lose? That sounds pretty dang important. So I know they rolled over that pretty fast, but I wanted to make sure that the point was heard.
I want to address something that Gavin said, which is that he thinks that you guys are welcoming a wolf.
Apathy.
No. What was your analogy?
A wolf in the henhouse.
Right.
Okay.
Would it be fair to say? I want to ask. Would it be fair to say that that's what you're afraid they're doing?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm.
My issue as a libertarian, because Trump courted us, he knew that our vote was important. He knew we needed our 3% in order to win the swing states. He knew that we needed us.
2016.
Yes. Oh no, can you stop for 1 second?
He didn't win it in 2016. He didn't need it.
So he needed us. He needed us this time, and he knew we did. So he came and he courted us and he made us promises, and this is fair because we are part of the coalition. Okay. Now, if you abuse us, you said you are so disrespectful to us. It's ridiculous, and you're abusing us, and then you're like,
Oh my
well,
God, I'm abusing
well, if
you.
you
Here
don't
comes
let
the
me,
woman.
if you don't let
I'm
me,
being
if you
abused.
don't, excuse me, I'm talking.
I'm
If
being
you don't let
abused.
me abuse
She's doing gun hands now. Damn. She means business.
you, then the Democrats are gonna win the
No
House.
one's saying that.
That's
I
what
don't-
you're
I personally
saying.
don't care if you
You're
guys
sitting
vote
there
or
saying you guys
don't
are
vote.
irrelevant.
We're
You
saying
guys
it's not
don't.
abuse.
Yeah.
We're not saying we're abusing.
You're sitting there. You're telling us to know our place,
abusing-
and then you're
using
like,
the word-
why?
okay, wait.
Why would we join
Okay,
you?
wait.
Using,
coalition.
Okay,
can we bring it back? I feel like this is unhelpful.
You do.
I feel like, first of all, using the word abusing is a complete straw man. Or
It's
like,
a
no one's
feminist
abusing. Like,
talking
come on,
point.
no one's abusing
A
anyone here.
feminist.
We're all talking. We're all having a conversation. Number one. Number two. Nobody serious who wanted mass deportations and wanted the border closed can actually seriously argue that Trump has not fulfilled that campaign promise in 1.5 years and still has another 2.5 years. I mean, nobody seriously can argue that, and none of you have argued that either.
Well, the argument is he's not doing enough.
10 million people in a year and a half. There's no. I'm sorry, Ellen. There's no way that you believe that.
Yeah,
You're
we're
just
not saying he
that-
didn't. We
you're
said we
just
want
saying
more.
that to demoralize Americans.
How is that true?
10 million people in a year and a half.
20 million came in?
You're not serious. You're not a
100%,
serious
I'm
person.
dead serious.
I'm saying you're not a serious person if you actually think that 10 million people could be deported in a year and a half.
I think he said in 4 years though.
Why can't
In 4 years?
Tell me
No,
why.
a year and a half.
Tell me why.
If he promised to do so, then he promised to do so, so he must have had a plan for it. Otherwise, he shouldn't have said anything about it. I'm sick of the people that can communicate so they could just get mad and madder because people aren't agreeing with them. So unsophisticated. I apologize. I can't read that on YouTube. I apologize.
Why we can't deport 10 million.
And if he did say in 10 years, if he did say in 4 years, excuse me, we're at 2.32 million times 4 years. That's 9.7 million people.
So we all agree 10 million would be a good minimum for deportations. Okay, so we all agree with that. So maybe we can see in time if we get anywhere near that number. Right now we're talking hypothetical.
Yeah, I don't think we should be complaining about this.
Here's another question I'd like to see where everybody stands.
Okay.
I believe Alejandro Mayorkas needs to be tried for treason. I believe Alejandro Mayorkas is a criminal and needs to be made an example of. Where do you guys fall on that?
Mayorkas got a pardon, no? The founding fathers specifically designed this country so that in a situation
He really does talk in 4K. Who was it that said that earlier? That is a good description.
like this, where one party, thank God it's the Republicans right now, but if the Democrats controlled the executive branch, Congress, and the judicial branch, they would be talking like you guys are and be like, with the snap of our fingers, we want wide
and they'd actually get it.
We want wide open
They
borders.
did.
We want wide open borders. We want all these people to go to prison like overnight.
All you're highlighting is that the GOP is fake opposition. That
It's not fake opposition. Things take time.
actually
They're
do
just don't believe in weaponizing the justice system the way you want
designed our country.
The founding fathers didn't have parties. What are we talking about?
If you disagree with that, that we should just scrap what the founding fathers proposed for our country, then say that.
Well, if we're going to get back to the constitutional founding of this country, we got a lot of other issues.
So what should Mayorkas be in jail?
Treason.
I don't even know what to comment on. They're just like yelling over each other. Sorry, I'm just there. It's all over the place. Like this is a mess. What was it that somebody was saying something about a hen house? This is like chickens yelling at each other or something. This is so messy. I just don't even know what to focus on here. It's just this moment. It's not the whole thing. It seems like it's kind of everywhere at once. Look at his socks. I noticed that too. I was just thinking about that too, of the red socks. What's with the goofy socks? Or the one dude actually not even wearing socks. Who's not wearing socks? Same, I am lost. I don't know. I don't mind the goofy socks, but they're definitely noticeable. I think that if you're somewhere in a place where you're trying to get people to take you seriously, maybe that's not the right place to, do the goofy socks. But overall, I have no issue with goofy socks. It just it definitely puts you in the category of not a serious person. But
Alejandro,
I overall like the crazy socks. It's just I wouldn't personally choose this situation to premiere the socks.
Mayorkas committed treason.
That's all I see. Every time that they focus on that guy, that's all I see too.
How did he facilitated an invasion? He facilitated an invasion, which was also an economic bomb. Okay, so he cost this country hundreds of billions of dollars,
on top of
maybe
the
even trillions now because we have to deport them all.
So you all agree open borders are bad. You guys are all voting.
What is on those? Is that like a cookie?
Is that
red, right?
Or like a skate? I don't even know what that is.
I've never said that. I asked a question. Who here would like, let's just do a raise hand. Who here would like to see Alejandro Mayorkas tried for treason?
Along with Fauci, please.
So you guys don't think Mayorkas committed treason?
I don't know enough. I don't know if there will be any. I don't know if there will be any
Brandon, in terms of
charges that
doomerism
would
and
hold
blackmailing and how to demoralize Americans, it's these sorts of questions. The average family sitting around their dinner table
I don't know enough about the topic to comment. I apologize.
does not care whether
The name is familiar to me, but I would have to look it up. I love the socks, and I would absolutely wear goofy socks in a situation like this. But I'm not a particularly serious person, so yeah. I mean, as long as you don't expect people to take you seriously, that is always a choice. Is that Santa socks? I don't know if they are red. I don't know if it's is that Beavis on there? I don't know. I can't tell what's on there. Owen is really growing out his hair lately. Your hair is long enough already, bro. Super goes quick. I don't know. I don't mind it.
Yeah, they don't want justice for the invasion of their
care
nation.
about Iran either.
they don't. Okay, that's again.
I think it suits him.
We can keep switching the goalposts.
No, logical consistency is
Yeah, I think it suits his face.
important.
And I'm happy to explain my
logical consistency is important.
Okay, and I'm happy to explain my logical
You're
consistency.
arguing that the American people don't care about the invasion of their nation. The guy who was responsible for it shouldn't be charged.
Do you think the average dinner table in America right now is discussing the fact that Mayorkas has not been prosecuted, or do you think they're discussing other things? Yes or no?
I think they're discussing that they can't afford to live in this country.
Deportations, and I think that they would like there to be justice when it comes to.
Okay, and the border. Okay, and so we're back to deportations. The border is closed. 2.3 million people have been deported.
But why
ICE are
you opposed to Mayorkas being prosecuted?
Asylum seeker claims have gone from 50% to 7%. I genuinely don't understand.
I'd like that question answered.
Why are you opposed to Mayorkas being prosecuted?
Mayorkas has a pardon. You can't prosecute
with an auto pen. So Biden's auto pen pardons are good.
You ask a question, then you whisper to each other saying, "Why isn't he answering?" I answer, and then you immediately interject. You let me speak. Perfect.
Who was whispering? That was a very public hey, everybody. I'd like that answer too. What do you mean whisper to each other? He's so sensitive. He's like, oh, people are like talking about me. I don't know who this person is, but that was kind of uncalled for. Oh, is it this guy here? He's responsible for the influx of illegal aliens. Oh, yeah. I would have to. Thank you, because the names sound familiar, but I'm not as up to date on that as well.
I'd rather Trump address things that matter to a dinner table.
Okay.
To a dinner table.
So is AutoPen fake, fraudulent?
You meant Mayorkas, right, Professor? See, these people are so invested in their viewpoints that they can't even communicate rationally.
Signature and
This
10
is kind
million,
of
20
everywhere.
million illegal entries into this country is
How
not
do
a
we
big
just double
issue.
the number? How do we just double the
So
number?
what is the number? How many came in?
Wait, no. I'm asking you said 20 million. I never
I'd
said
say
20 million.
I'd say at
Between
least
12 and
15.
20.
I'd say at least
12 to
15.
20, so that was the range.
Why are we arguing about this? We all are furious about open borders. You guys think he's not deporting enough. We think he's doing pretty good. We're
I think
splitting
this is
hairs
the
here.
spot
Are you
that
guys all
we-
voting red, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, because the
I've
fear
never
is
voted Democrat. I don't think I
fear
ever
is some Republicans are going to vote Democrat just out of spite.
No,
Well,
no.
that's
So
crazy.
the issue,
I have never voted for Democrat.
That's what we're here to
they're
protect.
not going to vote Democrat. The issue,
They probably. I don't know what you mean by red. I would be surprised if people who are really upset about the war and the way that Republicans have, well, done everything lately, I would be surprised if they would be voting for them. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. She hasn't, this Emily lady hasn't really spoken much, so I don't know what she thinks, but I don't know what she thinks either. I don't really follow her. I know of her, but I don't follow her or anything. I would be surprised if, like, I don't know. I don't know about Clinton, actually. I think it depends on the candidate, probably, but I would hope that he would vote for whoever the Libertarian candidate is versus, like, a Democrat. But at this point, I would say if whichever party it is, if a party does something that is so bad that people are so upset about and people are expressing their discontent and they still do it, they can't rely on those people to vote for them in the next election. They just can't. And that doesn't necessarily mean that those people are going to vote for the opposite side. I mean, they might, some of them, but they don't owe you a vote. If you mess up that bad, you deserve to lose. And they might just not vote at all. They might vote for a third party. They might vote for the opposition. But the most likely scenario is they probably just won't vote. And people that won't vote for you are not quite as bad as people who vote specifically against you, but that is still a lost vote. It's not a point for the other side, but that is a minus point for your side. So if you don't want people to not vote for you, do the things that people want you to do and don't do the things that people don't want you to do. I know that was a lot of negatives there, but I hope that I made my point. Today people debate to be right, but not factually correct. They just want to win, not be correct. Yes, Professor Huda says...
with like libertarians, for instance, if they're having to align with people who are constantly like blaming them for everything, is demoralization. They're just not going to vote.
Well, and for the record, you guys all say that we don't matter. We're actually the only ones that matter because we're the only ones that won't turn out no matter what. You guys are going to vote for Trump.
Exactly. It's like if people, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. If they can count on you no matter what, then your vote doesn't really count. It's what the people that don't vote for you are the ones that sort of decide whether you're still in power or not. And if you come out there and you're like, okay, that's not exactly what I was saying, but that's kind of where I was going. If you come out there and you're like, oh, well, no matter what they do, I'm still voting red, then they have no reason to do better. They can do whatever it is they please, or whatever it is their overlords in whatever small Middle Eastern country please. They can do whatever. And if they think that they have your vote no matter what reason are you giving them to change?
no matter what, and you're going to vote for the
Well,
GOP,
he's not on
and
the
you're
ballot
going to line up and you're going
Not
to eat
no
the
matter
Randy
what.
Fine slop. But
If
the rest of us
becomes
will
a
not.
quagmire, I'm out. I'm
You
off.
say Randy Fine. You're talking about mass deportation. Did you say Randy Fine?
Yeah.
Randy Fine is the most hawkish on the border right now. This is what I mean. It's just constant demoralization. You don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't even get to vote for Randy Fine, so
One
why
of
do
the
we
most
care?
hawkish
I didn't
people in
bring up
Congress.
Randy Fine to
He's
talk
been in
about
Congress.
deportation.
No, but you brought him up. Randy Fine's been in Congress for less than a year. He's proposed 2 separate bills.
I'm not familiar with that person either, but it's not. At some point, it's not all about the border. Like, sure, the border is important, but the war situation is way more important than that right now.
To address the border crisis and to mass deport people. So I'm saying is you guys just go from hopscotch from topic to topic, nitpick certain things to demoralize the voting base against voting.
I'm not
That's
bringing
just
up Randy Fine because of the
You said
border.
Randy Fine's law. We were talking about borders. You said Randy Fine.
Let me ask
trying
a
to talk
question.
about
Let me
all
ask a
of
question, please. Gavin.
I was thinking that they had been talking about the border for kind of a while in the beginning and that we're moving on, but maybe I was wrong. It is kind of all over the place, but I don't think it's those people on that side doing it. I think they're all sort of saying stuff, and this guy just wants to point fingers. It's kind of what it looks. As an adult, you have to be able to pick a side and write it out. We have too many flip-floppers that have no loyalty. Loyalty matters. I disagree with this. I don't think that it's necessarily an adult thing to do to choose a side for the sake of it, and no matter what they do, you just have to put up with it. I think it's probably more adult to show people that actions have consequences, and you voting or not voting for them is the consequence. That's kind of how the system is designed. If you are blindly loyal to people who don't deserve your loyalty, or who act in a way that they don't appreciate your loyalty or that they take your loyalty for granted, that's not how the system is designed to work. The system is designed so that whatever little we have of the system that was intended is designed so that people who mess up, they should pay for it by not being in power anymore. You don't get to stay in power because people are loyal, even if you mess up really badly. The border's number one issue. Go to any city. I don't disagree that it's important, but I think personally the war in Iran is a much bigger problem right now.
You know, you said splitting hairs. So I just want to say, it does seem like a lot of the focus on the MAGA team is about the performance, Trump is giving us right now and how you feel about it. Would it be fair to say that some of your concerns over here on your side are that what is life like after Trump, and that isn't this our window of time to fix? And wasn't this supposed to be the guy who was going to do it?
This is an existential moment, and Trump promised to move mountains, and he simply is not. He's not delivering. And when he expends the limited political capital that he has, he does so on behalf of his donors and not on behalf of his voters.
And I'm asking this question very quickly, David.
reprehensible.
Very quickly, I'm asking this question because AL said, do you really think that this is what people are sitting around their dinner table worried about? Look, I'm in the role of moderator tonight, so I'll ask the question. Do you think people in this country are sitting around their dinner table worrying what life is going to be like after Trump and what our government will
My
do?
children are.
I do.
I don't think they're thinking that way. I think right
You
now,
don't.
no, you know what American people at the dinner tables think of? And so I'm going to disagree with some of the contentions over here.
Oh yeah, wasn't this supposed to be like a dinner table discussion? Where is their dinner? I'm still wondering when they're gonna eat. I'm not loyal to the GOP, but I will support for policies. One of the policies, like, guys, my vote is pro-life. In Seattle, it's nothing. I don't know how. I'm sorry. YouTube is really rough on small channels, so I have read your message. Small channels really get the brunt of it. If you're a bigger channel, you can get away with saying things that smaller channels can't.
I do think the libertarian voice matters. I do think what you guys say matter. I think you actually sometimes matter more than President Trump's opinion, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you have audiences. Big.
I have previously, I have made completely innocent comments about differences in people in general, and it's gotten YouTube has stopped showing my video to people, so it's very touchy about that, and it's pretty frustrating.
Audiences that look to you to break down what's actually happening out there. They look to your opinions and you breaking down the noise to make it make sense for them. And each of you have your own individual audience, just like we do, because they go, oh, okay, David broke it down for us in a way that I can understand it. So your interpretation of what they're seeing directly impacts how they feel about it in a lot of instances. So what they're sitting around their dining room table talking about is the stuff we're talking about. That's what they're talking about because they heard their favorite person say it. Just like, I heard on Rush Limbaugh this, I heard on Bongino this, I heard on Owens show this. That's what they're talking about at the dinner table. And that's what I think is so important about this time, and actually this conversation, is because we need to be careful of the responsibility we have as commentators and influencers.
Who's we? Who are you, dude? I don't know who this person is or this chick. I don't know who any of these people are on that side.
On how we are taking that message and delivering it to our audiences. Now, there's totally room for people to say, I'm disappointed that Trump didn't give me all the things we were promised. I get all that. One of the things I hate about Christmas, and I love Christmas, and I'm a Jew, one of the things I hate about Christmas is no matter how much money we spend, no matter how special we try to make it, anyone with kids understands this. The Christmas story is all about this. It's the things they didn't get for Christmas. Like, we can go out of our way, get the freaking new Xbox, Sony, whatever, and the kids open up all their presents and they go, what's wrong? Oh, I didn't get so-and-so, and I really wanted it. And so no matter what, I'm like, I hate
Sounds
Christmas.
like a real Jew Christmas.
Right? Like, we didn't even get them 8 presents. They just got whatever they got. So, but the idea...
I've never gotten one.
I don't get it. All right.
What I wanted for Christmas.
Right, but that's my point.
You guys don't get Christmas. It's not about that at all.
But that, okay, and that is, let me land my point here.
Trump was supposed to be different.
But he is still a politician. He's still president of the United States. And he's not a dictator, regardless of what the left thinks, or the no keys. Not king, certainly. And so the problem is, he can't just go, all right, 10 million people, get the hell out. Because what would happen? We already have squishy GOP that won't even give us the Save America Act that 80% of America wants. We can't even get that. So the problem is, Trump wants to kick everyone out. And look what happened. The left sends Alex Preedy and Renee Good in front of an ICE officer, in front of a car. And next thing you know, there's pitchforks in the street. You know what happened? Average Americans sitting around their dinner table, even if they voted for Trump, go, ooh, I really don't like those illegals, but that really I don't have a good feeling about. But let me just land. So when you have a media that we can't control in the mainstream, and
When is he gonna land?
most Americans listen to the mainstream media, right? We hope they listen to us. So when you have a media that lies, when you have Democrats that run in
He's like crashing out.
front of a camera and lie, we have a problem with actually being able to deliver on these promises without it being bastardized and convincing those Americans, like libertarians, who do make up a portion of the electorate that shows up, but don't always because they don't feel heard. Like, if you guys don't show up, the Democrats win. And if the Democrats win, we're screwed. So I want you to show up. I want you to air your grievances, but I want us to be able to tell you why I think we actually are.
It seems like they have a disagreement on the right-hand side of this room here. This chick is like, what do you mean? I just spent the last 40 minutes telling them that they're not the real MAGA and that they need to stay in their lane, and they need to, what did she call it? I forgot what she called it. But basically, like, she was spending this entire time trying to segregate the libertarians out into their own little thing and being like, oh, you're not even part of our group. You're in your own little group. You stay in your group. You stay in your lane. And this guy is like, no, we need these people. And she's like looking at him like, excuse me, excuse me. Excuse me. Was she doing like a turkey hand and a bird hand? Excuse me. At the same time. That'd be funny. I heard that. I was like, huh. Interesting that he would be on the side that is doing the things that they're doing now.
Are giving you what you want for Christmas. It just doesn't look exactly like what you wanted. I'll land there.
See, I don't look at politics as if I'm dealing with Santa or wishing for gifts.
That's a great point.
I look at very flawed human beings that make me promises that are usually bullshit, and that's what I've experienced with supporting Trump in the last go around. Regardless of the fact that yes, I'm not some ride or die, red and white MAGA hat wearing person, I did give him serious credence, and I expected him to deliver on some very significant promises. And the reason it's so important is because we're facing a $40 trillion shotgun of debt, and we are running out of time. So the deportations have to happen very rapidly. We cannot be expending limited political capital on a war in Iran on behalf of Israel. If we're going to expend and suffer the consequences of, like, for instance, I think you brought up the fact that wouldn't that create inflation if we were to deport all of the laborers in the field?
The cost of domestically produced.
Yeah, price inflation, whatever. Those are the sacrifices that I feel like Owen and myself and so many others would gladly make if it was to actually handle the deportations that we were promised. We are not willing to pay $6 at the gas pump when it's to fight a war that is not in our.
That's fair, because Trump started with so much social capital, which is what politicians need, is they need people to be agreeable towards them basically ruling over us. That's what it is. That's what they're doing. So if people don't want to be governed badly enough, they will have problems. And so he started, his approval rating was higher than the first time around, way higher than Biden's, I believe. I mean, like, for a president in today's day and age, he started out with like over 50%, which is very high for recently what we've had. He had the sort of the political capital, I think is what it's called. Is that the right term? The political capital to do some things that that he promised to do that would have caused some side effects that would not be popular. He had the political capital to do some of those things. And he wasted it all on all this war stuff and all this other crap that we don't want. That's a great point. Like, people were willing to pay a little bit more to deal with some of these tough problems that we had to deal with, but not for these reasons, for the reasons that he promised. But instead, we get the bad stuff and the worst stuff, which is the reason for the bad stuff. We don't even get like, oh, we have to, things are going to be a little bit tougher because we have to deal with this particular thing. We don't even get the thing that was promised. We get the opposite of what was promised that is even worse, and also the side effects. So there's no balance here whatsoever. That's a great point, honestly. Didn't the Libertarian Party leader just go full on globalist? Just last week he went full on mask of globalist. Who is the Libertarian Party leader? If you mean Chase, I don't know if that was who you meant. I don't think people really consider him the leader, even though he was because kind of like I was saying earlier, I have this feeling that we probably elected him because we wanted people to vote for Trump instead. This proves to me that there's no freedom of speech on this channel or show, such disappointment. Yeah, I'm sorry, there's not much I can do about that. Like, YouTube has rules, and they are very tough on small channels. So it's unfortunate that I have to self-censor, but it's either that or I don't even get a channel. So I apologize. That is, unfortunately, that is the way that things are. I kind of agree with what the guy speaking is saying. Just like mass immigration is a problem, mass deportations could be greatly destabilizing to the economy. Libertarian Party is a bad joke. People are way too globalist for me. I agree that some of them are, but that's not... I think that there's a lot of disagreement in the Libertarian Party because there are a lot of people that are from the left that don't like the left, and a lot of people from the right that don't like the right. So they're sort of settling in this middle ground, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's like compromise is good overall. We have to have some level of compromise to live next to each other in the same country overall. But that leads to some misconceptions like, oh, libertarians are open borders or globalist or whatever, which is not the case. Some are, but that's only some. I wouldn't even say most are.
You guys are talking about it.
Okay, Dave, we're going to thoroughly unpack all of these in the next segment. I would like to move on to the next segment. But before I do, a quick question for Linda that I'd like to open up, and then we'll move on. You told Josie that the Libertarians need to know their place in the coalition, but it really struck a question in me, which is, who owns MAGA? Who is in charge of the movement to say to somebody else that they need to know their place?
Why are Libertarians part of MAGA now? Libertarians have their own. They had their own candidate, right? Chase Oliver that was his name.
I ran against him, but yeah.
Okay.
But is there a hierarchy? I guess is my question.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a hierarchy. I think that the majority of the MAGA Republicans are your average Republican voters, people that joined the coalition before 2020, and I think the Libertarians are not part of MAGA, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
I don't think that you know the difference between the
coalition.
I was going to ask if he could have won without them.
It's the same thing with the mommies who always hated Trump, white suburban women who he always had an issue with. We know that prior to 2024, and they only voted Trump because of RFK. So are they Republicans? Are they MAGA?
I get asked this all the time. I mean, look, as a conservative...
Okay, but we need every single vote. Who cares why they joined, as long as they joined? When we look at what we're up against, like, I'll take the Libertarians, the soccer moms, like, who cares at this point? We need them badly.
Right, Emily, but this is like with the issue with like the pro-lifers.
We call that
during the election, the pro-lifers, what did they want? They wanted to ruin Trump's chances because they wanted Trump to promise the pro-lifers that he was going to have a total ban on abortion. And when we said that's not going to happen because the overturn of Roe v. Wade, it goes back to the states, and that's what you guys wanted, and Trump made it happen, they wanted to boycott the elections. Light or Rose, it was this whole thing. So what I mean is, like, if you're a libertarian, you're not going to get everything that you want from Trump because that's not even your party. You don't even align.
Then he shouldn't have made those promises. Who cares, like, who you are? If you promise stuff you are responsible for delivering, then don't be promising stuff like that. That's fine. Nobody expected him to, like, promise all those things that he did. But if you do, we expect it done. I noticed how she isn't reading my comments that she doesn't like. She is as bad as the Democrats, it seems. Look at her ignoring comments. Not very mature. like I said, there are some comments that YouTube is not fond of, and then there are some that were not addressed to me, and also there are a lot. So if I stopped for every single one, we would be here for a very long time. So I do apologize, but there's only like so many that I can do. Mommy is OMG. She only reads comments that she agrees with and ignores the rest. Like, I know I've already covered that that's not the case, but I don't have to prove myself to you. So she's obviously an extreme Democrat. That is hilarious. If people that actually know me read that, they would literally like die laughing. I'm gonna go to a fair-minded channel that doesn't pick and choose comments. Okay, bye. It was nice having you while you were here. I'm sorry you feel that way. Democrat. Yeah, I mean, some people, I'm sorry. Like, I can't please everybody, and that's okay. Like, I do my best, but there's only so much I can do.
And with him, period.
This is a good segue to our next segment, which is about loyalty.
Why is Trump with Lindsey Graham now and not with Thomas Massey? And I think
that's a great point.
You know why?
For people like us.
Say it?
I don't know what the point of these like coming up is. Kind of like just get to it.
With him, period.
This is a good segue to our next segment, which is about loyalty. It's often been repeated that Trump is loyal to a fault to those who are loyal to him.
Oh, good. We were just discussing loyalty.
But this last year, we've seen President Trump cut ties with some of his biggest allies who fought to get him elected. And at the same time, President
Dying laughing extreme. Oh no.
Trump has thrown his support behind many who the base considers rhinos, and even some who have flat out rebuked him. Take a look.
It's easy. Tucker is a low IQ person, always easy to beat, and highly overrated. So are Megyn Kelly.
I like how they did.
Candace.
I like how they did like a Trump voice to do it.
Really dumb and mentally ill and bankrupt Alex Jones, who is completely fried. There are others also. Then we have some that are very good. True MAGA all the way and smart. I should do a list of good, bad, and somewhere in the middle. Wouldn't that be fascinating?
Well, I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot.
Oh my God, Lindsey Graham. Oh, this dude.
He doesn't represent my party.
Senator Lindsey Graham is doing a fantastic job.
the like turnaround on the whole. Well, everybody honestly is. It's telling the complete turnabout, especially on Lindsey Graham. Like,
he is running against.
I don't have words for this, honestly. Like, I'm sure they'll get into it, but it's so frustrating.
A lunatic named Mark Lynch, who supports perhaps the worst congressman.
Oh, go to bed. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. I'm still not sure if it's Carl or Carla, but thanks for stopping in. Have a good night.
In the history of our country, Thomas Massey of the great Commonwealth of Kentucky. I don't have to go into great detail, but needless to say, Mark Lynch would be a disaster for the Republican Party, and Lindsey Graham just gets the job done. Vote for Lindsey all the way. MAGA. President Donald J. Trump.
All right, guys, so what do you make of it?
He listed all the people that are the reason I became MAGA. Like literally, he listed all my favorite people. I mean, Alex Jones was the one I started listening to when I lost my job, didn't want to get vaccinated, I had no friends, I lost my boyfriend, was completely alone during COVID. And he's all I listened to was like Alex Jones, InfoWars. I've always loved Megyn Kelly. I think she is the most successful female in the space. I respect her even when I disagree sometimes on things. I don't understand people attacking her. But it's like Thomas Massey, like, yes. And then Lindsey Graham, no. It's just all these people he's attacking were like his biggest supporters, had the biggest platforms, and also are like really intelligent, fantastic people for the party, and people like those people. So to attack all of them is a little crazy.
You know, I don't like the personality.
A little crazy. A little crazy. That is a little crazy is a little underwhelming. It is completely batshit insane.
Stuff in politics, I think usually it goes out with the wash. So I look at it and I say, what is a principled conservative politician? Thomas Massey is probably the standard for a principled conservative politician.
I agree. Thomas Massey is probably the only politician in federal government or in government in general that I'm aware of that I would actually trust. That is the only politician that I would be willing to put trust in. Like if he makes decisions, and like sometimes there's information available to Congress that we're not privy to. Like they have all these like committees and stuff where they are supposed to oversee stuff in like, you know, the federal agencies and things like that. And they don't tell us everything, which I'm not happy with, but it is the way it is. And there are things that are like top secret things that they're supposed to oversee, but a lot of it still goes a separate topic. A lot of it that doesn't get overseen, but that is a separate topic. But as far as that's concerned, like he is a politician that I would trust. Like if he came out and be like, oh, well, there's all this stuff that we're not allowed to say to the public, it's top secret, but just trust me, this is like the reason I'm making this decision, I would be like, okay, sure, bet. That is like the only politician that I would be okay with trusting that much just because of the track record that he's had. I can't say that for anybody else.
If you look at his voting record, Lindsey Graham is the exact opposite. So if you want to claim that Trump is a conservative, then supporting Lindsey Graham and not Thomas Massey just doesn't make any sense.
You know, this picks up perfectly, if I may, from what Linda was saying before the break, because she talked about the MAGA, and she was saying, you know, MAGA doesn't belong to you guys. But I think that is the definition of MAGA. It's not the Republicans. The Republicans and MAGA are not aligned. And I think this is where we need to clarify what is MAGA. The GOP is Lindsey Graham, and you heard him. That's not my party, and he's exactly right. The GOP has never been.
Wait. Then why is Trump pushing for him?
Yeah, because, and this is an important point, because Trump has to use coalitions in order to get things done.
What happened to the coalitions? What do you mean? He literally just threw away everybody that is popular that had his back. The whole list. I mean, they just played it. The whole Tucker Carlson, Candace, all of these people. He literally just threw them under the bus and started calling them like Megyn Kelly. Was she on the list? I'm not sure. Basically all the popular people on the right. What happened to the coalitions, bro? What are you talking about?
Lindsey Graham is a key
Lindsey Graham votes with the Trump agenda. Thomas Massey does not.
He makes concessions for Lindsey Graham, but Thomas Massey, no.
Because Thomas Massey doesn't vote.
What concessions has he done with Lindsey Graham? Lindsey Graham has voted with Trump for the MAGA agenda every single time. That's also an edited video. Let's be honest. J.D. Vance was anti-Trump too, and now he's the vice president of the United States of America.
But
Lindsey Graham hasn't opposed Trump since
Megyn Kelly
2016.
left Fox News because she hated Trump.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson's text messages said, "I hate Trump."
Literally, January
I can't wait that we don't have
2021.
to listen to him anymore. Candace Owens has just gotten insane. I have nothing good to say about her. So if we're talking about, you talk about a principled conservative.
Why am I not surprised?
I can show you a million clips of Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly changing on literally every single one of their positions.
But they're not
do the same with
I'll let them talk.
Trump, but their personalities, not politics.
Seriously.
So
no. I said the personality stuff comes out with the wash. If you're talking about a principled politician,
This is honestly, I am surprised that the people on the right hand side of this are like they still think they have something. It's actually crazy. Actually.
Conservatively, I'm saying those people aren't in politics.
But those are, let's separate the question for a
Then
second.
why did you bring him up?
If we're going to talk about Trump's policies have been consistent 2016, 2020, and 2024.
Would you consider Trump a fiscal conservative?
If we're going to talk about opinions, Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson were vehemently anti-Trump. I can also play a clip of them.
What are you talking about? Tucker Carlson campaigned
Tucker
for a year and a
Carlson
half ago.
texted in 2020, "I hate
2021.
Trump."
In 2020.
Oh, he's also doing bird hands.
Before, he was on the campaign trail.
Yeah, after he got shot.
And Lindsey Graham was also
So was Lindsey
campaigning for
Graham.
Trump.
Okay,
So that
what's
tees
your
up
point?
my question for you, David. Sorry, real quick, David. You said, you know, in politics we need coalitions, but he's cut his coalition with Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Marjorie
That's
Taylor
not an
Greene.
important
He didn't cut his, they cut the coalition with Trump.
A lot of people
They're
have
not
sided with those
they're not
people and left
politicians,
the
though.
MAGA
But no, but I'll explain. We're talking about
Marjorie Taylor Greene was a politician.
two separate things. When we talk about the party and the politics and the Washington stuff, that's a whole nother side of what MAGA is. What MAGA is.
Honestly, I have way more respect for Marjorie Taylor Greene now that came out and basically like stood her ground for what she believes in. That's pretty honorable. I don't agree with her on quite a few things, but I find that honorable. Like I find that her basically standing up to Trump and being like, well, no, the Epstein stuff, that's important. We have to release that. And no, I'm not just gonna like forget about it and move on. Like, I don't know. I respect people who stand their ground and stand on their principles. And it's just cool to see.
Is a coalition of people that were fed up with government, and that's who Trump represented when he came down the escalator. The left had burned.
And she's gotten so much shit for supporting him all these years too. And as soon as she like doesn't agree with a thing, she's just like tossed away, just like everybody else, all the people on the list.
Sanders, they loved Bernie Sanders. He was the opposite of.
So as far as loyalty, it should go both ways. You don't get loyalty when you throw people away like that.
Trump, but exactly the same. He was a guy that
he doesn't deserve it. Sorry, I keep pausing it. He doesn't deserve loyalty. Like, he has not been loyal to them, so...
was sick of the Clintons, even though Bernie's a total hypocrite. He pretended to be sick of the establishment, sick of the Clintons, even though, you know, goes back to his mansion and complains about rich people. But the idea was, here was a guy who was anti-establishment. Trump was anti-establishment. When Trump stood on the stage in 2016, he had the Bushes, he had Chris Christie, he had all of the people that were supposed to ascend the GOP ladder as conservatives. Trump said, screw all these people, they've been lying to you. That was the beauty of Trump. Now, you have to separate his policies from the party, because Trump has never been GOP. The GOP hates him. They've always hated him. But what Trump has always represented, at least tried to, in my opinion, has been the anti-establishment voice. Where he struggles is it's hard to be anti-establishment while part of it. Because when you're president of the United States, well, now you lead the establishment. And so he's fighting people who hate him on the left, people who hate him on the right, in the GOP establishment. And in the middle, we're all like, where do we belong? Who are we?
I would like to
People on the right wouldn't hate him if he would just do what he promised to do.
hear what the mortal sin
And not do all this war stuff.
is of Megyn Kelly, of
I don't
Alex
think
Jones.
they did turn their back on him. If you're
Have
the
you not
leader of the
heard
free
her
world,
critics?
Hold on, turn your back. As a
Alex
political
Jones,
commentator?
Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, and Tucker Carlson all turned their back on Trump and started trash talking him because of Iran.
Wait,
and
wait,
so
before
wait,
that,
you look
before
like
that.
a
How about
bitch.
turning your back
Wait,
to be a
before
political
that.
commentator that says, I don't like the trajectory that the guy I voted for.
It's a New York thing.
Carlson called him the Antichrist.
You
He
got
said,
to
"I don't
overdo
like
it.
the guy
If
the
somebody,
Yes, he did.
if somebody
Yes, he
tells
did.
you to
Yes,
fuck off,
that was
you have to
possible.
double down.
This is a complete flustercluck.
It's part of
Yes,
the
he
deal.
did.
Antichrist?
Yeah, he was obviously he was implying that the
Alex
question
Jones
was
said
that.
he
That's
should be
not
impeached. Alex Jones said he should
changing
be
the
impeached.
trajectory of his positions or disagreeing with the position. Calling someone the Antichrist is a little bit different than that. So let's just be,
Yeah, you got it.
let's be
Okay,
fact-based
okay,
about
fine.
what we're
Did he
talking
actually
left him
call
first.
him the Antichrist, or did he ask a question clarifying about the Antichrist? I missed this.
He said people are asking them.
He made it
about. He
interrogative.
said, could this be the
Could this
Antichrist?
be? Yeah.
So and somebody else answered the question. He just
No, it was a
No,
monologue.
he-
It was a
it was a
monologue.
monologue.
Can I make a warning real quick? You guys remember in high school when your friend was dating a girl and you were like, oh, I hate her, but you kept your mouth shut because they seemed happy, and then they broke up and you're like, I always hated her. And everybody's like, yeah, and then they get back together and then he's like, he hates you. And it causes problems. Trump has beefs with people all the time, and I have strayed into getting behind these beefs. I'm like, yeah.
Yes, politics is just like high school, which is probably more true than I would like it to be, but we're not talking about like somebody's girlfriend in high school. We're talking about like people are getting killed overseas and are people overseas. This is a life or death situation. This isn't like, oh, somebody in high school doesn't like somebody else. That is completely flipping this thing upside down into something that's like hee haha juvenile. That is not. This is not even remotely. This is icky, honestly. Like the comparison is icky. Starting wars as being anti-establishment. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I'm behind the times, clearly.
Yeah, screw that person now. And I'm like, oh crap, they're friends again. Elon Musk is a perfect example. I don't get behind these beefs. He might be beefing with Alex Jones and Megyn Kelly and Tucker.
Okay, again, these beefs are not really what it's about. What this is about is like people are dying. War is a serious thing. It's not like, oh, he's got some beef with these people and now it's those people. I don't care. That war is bad. We shouldn't be doing war. This is very simple and very serious. Okay.
But the next big shoe will drop. A Democrat will do something that offends everybody, and before you know it, there'll be a coalition again.
Well, that's why.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that is wishful thinking.
Tribalism.
But I do want you. I want you to kind of go back to your original thought because I think you're getting to where this path needs to lead, which is, I'm sitting here looking at this, whether you like Thomas Massey or not. It's like it doesn't matter to me. Let's look at a voting record. He has a conservative voting record. That is just a fact. He has the #1 Liberty score now that Marjorie Taylor Greene is out. And so I'm just saying, I think it's a fair question to ask. And you explained your reasoning. Why is Trump with Lindsey Graham now and not with Thomas Massey? And I think
why.
For people
Will
like
any
us,
of you say it?
Well,
Oh no, wait, hold on. Let me guess. Israel.
Yes.
But hold on
Oh
a
my
second.
God.
I think
Wow,
that's fair.
great.
Hold on a second.
And the Epstein stuff, probably.
Look at what Trump said.
I'm not sure if the two are unrelated, but they could be related. I don't know.
About the Adelson money in 2016 compared to how Adelson funds his campaign now. So there is proof to that. But getting back to your
What
point.
proof is there to that? You just brought up
It's not a secret.
irrelevant fact.
Okay, Trump literally scolded
Irrelevant fact. It's not a secret. The Adelson money is not a secret.
the entire GOP for letting Adelson run it.
Okay.
And now
Adelson
Adelson
specifically
what's the
Marco
relevance
Rubio.
of that? What's the relevance?
Because Adelson is his top donor.
Can you tell me a position that Trump has changed after receiving Adelson money?
Yeah, war in the Middle East.
No, and what about when she donated?
So hold on, we're going to get to that in a second.
The biggest policy change that he's made.
You said something, and I'm disagreeing with it. Trump has been talking about since 1981
Their microphone is like messing up. Is it just me?
that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, and said in 1981
Yes, his specifically.
that we need to use military force to prohibit Iran from
And guess
getting
what?
nuclear weapons.
They didn't have a nuke. They weren't building a nuke, and they still don't have a nuke.
Okay, that again, you're just lying.
That's a
I don't
fact.
know.
What do you mean lying? Like this guy's just annoying me. He's annoying the crap out of me. He's got like the comically deep voice, like he's talking into a tub is one thing, but to come out here and be annoying like that is another thing. This is so annoying. What do you mean lying? What? This, okay.
That's a fact. Those are
So this is just you guys believe political propaganda. We don't.
I don't know if you're lying or you're just misinformed.
Did Iran have a nuke?
Did Iran currently have a nuke? No.
Okay. Did Iraq have weapons of mass destruction? Did Iraq have weapons of mass destruction?
No.
Did babies die in incubators?
Do you wait?
No.
Do you wait?
All of these lies led us to wars.
What? Do you wait for Iran to get nuclear weapons before you prevent it?
Does Israel have nuclear weapons?
This whole nuclear weapon thing, this is so stupid. I can't believe I can't believe people are actually falling for that stuff. But wait, no, I can. I think I could probably count like for each person on the, you know what, I'm not gonna be mean. They just don't seem very bright. What happens to their mix? I always say mix. I shouldn't say mix. Mics. It seems like it's just this guy.
Weapons? Does America have nuclear weapons? Does Russia have nuclear weapons?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just him. It's just his.
The Taliban. Do you want the Taliban to get nuclear weapons?
No, of course.
But unfortunately, he keeps yelling.
But why is it my business?
I actually don't know what your point is. What is your point?
My point is,
I was going to get to my point. If I can get back to my point, please, and I can let David express this.
Because then you brought this up, and I'm addressing it now. Do you want Iran? Let's just go on. Do you want Iran to get nuclear weapons?
They don't have one. They weren't building one.
They were building one. Do you want Iran to get
Why?
nuclear weapons?
Why are we doing this?
Do you want Iran to get nuclear weapons?
They did Operation Midnight Hammer August of 2024.
Why won't you respond to the question? It's a very simple question.
Sure, thank you.
Are you okay with Iran?
This is stupid. So much spitting into their mics. Yeah, I don't know if it's because he's yelling or moving too much or something, but yeah, something about like this guy specifically. His microphone is messing up.
Getting nuclear weapons.
I'm not doing. They don't have fucking nukes, man.
Do you want Iran to get nuclear weapons?
Where do we draw the line? Are we okay with North Korea getting nuclear weapons?
When we look at the situation with Trump moving into Lindsey Graham's, realm and out of Massey's realm, the way I interpret that is Trump is not with the anti-establishment. He's not against the GOP. He's not against the neocons. To me, that symbolizes that Trump has joined the neocons and abandoned everyone else. That's the way I interpret that.
Yes.
And
as far as the nuclear weapons thing, honestly, like, oops, my bad. Honestly, that's a good point. Like, North Korea has nukes. There are other countries that are at odds with us that have nukes. It's not the end of the world if more countries that are at odds with us have nukes. Like, it's not great. I wish that they didn't exist, but they do. The cat is out of the bag. And it seems like the countries that do have them are safer. That's what we are showing them. What we're showing them is, if you don't develop them, we can come in and do whatever we want to you and bomb you. And if you do develop them, then you're safe. That is the message that we're sending currently. I don't know if that's the message that we intend to send as a country, but that is the message that we are sending. Because do we bomb North Korea? No. Do we bomb Russia? At least not directly. But we are counting on the restraint of all of these other countries to not use their nukes. And Israel also has nukes. And they're not even part of the treaty of all the other countries that have nukes that are in. So they, like, why do they get nukes? And they have been attacking other countries and other people way more than Iran has, as far as I'm aware. Like, as a country overall. This is... And the restraint that Iran has shown, because when they first got hit with, when was this, like a year or 6 months ago? Whenever that hammer thing happened, that was ridiculous, that supposedly wiped out all their nukes, but then they magically respawned somehow because this is a video game, apparently. Not that there were nukes anyway, but you know what I mean. It seems like they showed quite a lot of restraint because they literally had to hit us back, but they communicated with us and basically made it so that nobody got hurt. That is restraint. If we can ask if any nation has these kinds of weapons, all we can hope for is that they have restraint and reason. And that's all that's holding the entire planet from basically a nuclear catastrophe, is that people hold back in general. And they hold back way more than we do. Like, our country currently, that has a ton of nukes, is not holding back like we should be doing. So it seems like out of the two, they are holding back way more. And holding back is what, like, having weapons like that is all about. I don't know. It's... Honestly, this whole, like, oh, they can't have nukes is... They would have been better off if they had them, because clearly, what do we do with countries that have them? Well, nothing. We respect their freaking territory. We respect countries that have them, so when countries are, agreed to not have them, we just walk all over them. They agreed to not have them. They agreed to all these inspections. They did not have freaking nukes. They were not building nukes. And that's what got them in the end. If they had just built them and had them, they would have been fine. Like, they would have been safe. That's the message we're sending.
I think that you were getting.
And it's not the first time we sent this message either.
Your interpretation was this is Trump wheeling and dealing in D.C., which I think would be the most innocent explanation of it. But then, of course, you have to weigh in the donor influence, the foreign and special influence. I mean, these are things that we all know happen in D.C. We can't ignore them.
Well, that's what it boils down to, honestly, whether or not you still have faith in Trump or not. And I'm not saying everybody needs to. I believe Trump is doing what he has to do to get things to the finish line. Remember, Big Beautiful Bill barely passed. There was a lot of wrangling. Lindsey Graham voted for the Big Beautiful Bill. And so Mitch McConnell, I think, didn't. But this.
Fuck the Big Beautiful Bill. Why is that even a name for a thing? That is disgusting.
This is the balance he has to strike. He has a
Just saying it makes me icky.
GOP in the Senate that does not deliver on his agenda. So he has to do things like, yeah, Lindsey, you're great, because guess what? Lindsey's getting reelected as much as it pains all of us. And if Trump goes against Lindsey's or for Lindsey's opponent, and Lindsey's like, I remember that Trump, that's a problem for the entire agenda. So I do believe.
Who cares? They were already beefing before. Why is now different? Oh, they can't beef again. And it seems like whoever they put money behind is going to win, as the whole Thomas Massey situation proved to us. Like, we don't even really have power over who goes into Congress. So what difference does it make? Why is he acting like this is such a big deal somehow?
He goes to Washington and says, how do I get this done? I think it's a lesson he learned from the 2016 administration.
You know, and that's such a catch-22, because the other side of that is, okay, I can't get anything done unless I work with Lindsey Graham, but then you're risking I can't get anything done if I work with Lindsey Graham, because so many people are never going to show up and vote for me with the midterms.
Why is it Trump's filing into Lindsey Graham's ecosystem?
They're just obsessed with Lindsey Graham.
Lindsey Graham
It's weird.
is filing into Trump.
They're obsessed with Lindsey Graham. It's weird. Wow, okay. This chick is just annoying. I don't know what to say. It's just
because
annoying.
we're at war in the Middle East, and this is what the neocons have been pushing for my entire life.
Trump has been saying that he wants to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon since 1981.
And they never had one. Trump has also said that Bush's wars in the Middle East.
Stop them with Operation Midnight Hammer. Why are you keeping this up?
If you weren't paying attention in 1981, in 2016, in 2020, and in 2024, that's fine. But just say you're misinformed.
You weren't even alive. What are you talking about? You're the youngest one on this panel. How are you going to age play?
Yeah, but the videos exist. We can see
So
what
hold on
Trump
a
was
second.
saying
I'll
in the
address what you said. Trump has also said dozens of times for just as long what a disaster our foreign policy in the Middle East was. He has been saying that forever. He's been saying we need to get out of the Middle East. He's been talking about the blood and treasure we spilled in the Middle East being a waste. You want to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse in government? The war in the Middle East, if not war generally, war is a racket. 1942, General Smedley.
Do you think Iraq is the same as what's happening with Iran right now?
Pretty much. I mean, Iran is over.
Owen is cooking here. I'll just let
Can I answer the question?
Nobody serious can say that Iraq and Iran are the same.
I just said Iran is a much bigger serious.
Millions of troops.
I just said Iran is a bigger
war, not a multi-week military operation.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Iran is much more serious.
Because I feel like the point you were trying to make was Trump's consistency going back all the way to 1981. But doesn't that also kind of present a different point, which is that the same talking points have been being made for 45 years, but nothing has actually changed during that 45 years?
Sorry, do you...
Well, about that, Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon. If that's been repeated for 45 years, are we allowed to question if that was true?
You're allowed to question whatever you want.
It obviously wasn't true. Like, I don't know. I find it funny people even believe that they ever had nukes or something. Like, we learned nothing with the weapons of mass destruction, did we? Yeah, we learned nothing. Yeah, that's that is actually accurate. We learned nothing. Let him cook. Let him cook. Chad Schreier, my man. He's doing really well.
But if you actually read and actually learn about the history, then, I mean...
So hold on, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's do the history.
Brandon,
lie about weapons of mass destruction. Lie about bases and incubators. Lie about nuclear weapons.
It's not true that all the intelligence agencies...
You're going to get fact-checked after this, and there's going to be a viral clip of you going, you're a liar, Clint, and they're going to...
And by the way, Mayorkas never got it.
I look forward to that.
Pardon, just so you know.
Can I tell you, I don't care if they have a nuke or not, though.
Brandon, I think you made the point.
Let me just go back. You guys act like everything happens in a vacuum and everything's black and white and there's no nuance. Let me finish.
What? Is he projecting? Like, these people.
Because you called me a liar, so I'm explaining. You're saying I'm misinformed, that I'm a liar, but
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
I'm so misinformed a liar. Why don't you make me look stupid and let me explain myself? Correct?
Go for it.
Perfect. So stop interrupting.
That'd be great.
There were multiple operations like Stuxnet,
Ooh.
which set back the nuclear ambitions
He's sure telling them.
of Iran. There was also an assassination on the top nuclear scientists. So yes, Iran has been close to developing a nuclear weapon, but you're acting like Iran's just been developing a nuclear weapon, and there hasn't been multiple instances where both the U.S., Israel, and Europeans have gone in and set it back like we did in Operation
Yeah,
Banana Hammer,
I'm going
like
based
with-
off of the
like with-
intel agencies
like-
that
like
Trump
with
has in
Stuxnet,
place.
like with Stuxnet, and like with the killing of Mohammed, I forget his name, in his car using an AI machine weapon. In terms of your claim that Iran was not developing a nuclear weapon, Iran is the only country in the world with 60% nuclear enrichment that does not possess a nuclear weapon.
Correct.
The deputy speaker of the Iranian parliament quite literally said verbatim, we were trying to develop a nuclear weapon in secret, and they discovered it. I mean, there's so many different, you don't need an underground facility in multiple different locations of your country to develop it's like the movie The Dictator when Sacha Baron Cohen goes, we're developing a nuclear weapon for peaceful purposes. I mean, there's so much evidence. In 2018, an entire trove of documents were stolen from Tehran, and Israel, it was the Mossad, Israel brought in Harvard professors who had previously taken your position that there is no evidence to suggest, and brought in foreign journalists to review them, and they reported
I've already did a whole spiel on this. I'm just going to let them
in
talk.
2018 that Iran actively was developing a nuclear missile program. You don't wait until an enemy that chants death to America to develop nuclear weapons.
This is so annoying. This talking point, it is so annoying. I can't tell you how many times I have seen online somewhere this exact talking point. Oh, they chant death to America. They chant it. They're chanting this particular. Who gives a crap? Like, so what? So many people. There are so many people out there that might chant stuff like that. There are so many people that are in other countries that we as a country have gone, and especially in the Middle East where we went and completely leveled cities. I'm sure a lot of those people also chant death to America. So what? They have, again, Iran has shown so much restraint not hitting us back and being way more restrained than we would have shown in their shoes, honestly. So this whole like, oh no, they're chanting something. Oh, that means we get to what level their cities. What is he talking about? This is batshit insane. I'm 100% that they have a Nip It Doggy on your channel. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like extra censorship or something, because I used to be way less careful about it. Again, it is really unfortunate, but it's either I have a channel or I don't. So I apologize if that is what is being experienced. That's basically the whole reason they justifying the war, the chants. That's what I'm hearing. It's either the whole, oh, WMD's in Iraq again, or, oh no, they said bad stuff about us. And that means World War III now because they said things we don't like. Okay, clearly that makes way more sense to them than it does to me.
You stop it before it
there's
happens.
so many words, but it doesn't change the fact
Facts,
that
not words, facts.
our intel agencies said that they were not developing one. That's a fact too.
So our intelligence agent, Tulsi Gabbard, literally testified before Congress, saying that they had not made the decision to nuclearize it. She did right after that, because you guys love to clip this, she did right after that say that no other country is enriching until 60%, and Iran does pose a threat to the world order. She did say that.
Okay.
So clip the entire thing, number one. Number two.
I didn't clip it at all.
But you quoted half of that.
You only quoted half of that, so that's a clip of it.
We do have a whole segment about Iran coming up. We do have a whole segment.
That's great, but if I'm called a liar with someone who doesn't actually engage with facts, then it's kind of difficult to engage in.
Brandon, I just
Wow.
I mean, nobody serious can ever say that Iran is not trying to develop a nuclear weapon.
To your
Nobody
point
serious
of
can say that.
to your point of Trump.
Why is she sitting there like, you know what I mean? She's like, what is that? Like, I do that as a joke sometimes, but she's 100% serious. It's so cringe.
Or oh, we've been hearing this for 40-something years. That's literally the point, that no other administration has been doing the things that Trump has done. So just to answer that.
You know what I mean?
But to
Like,
Owen, Thomas Massey supported DeSantis in the primary. So if you were looking for like a principled conservative, you would have supported DeSantis, because that's who he supported.
DeSantis is
Lindsey
one of
Graham.
Thomas Massey's best
DeSantis
friends.
is more conservative than Trump?
I'm telling you, if you are looking for the principled conservative, that's who Thomas Massey supported. He didn't support Trump. I just want to clear that up. He supported him for president.
I don't know.
Okay.
Conservative,
So
yeah.
okay. And the second thing is, when you talk about, oh, why is he supporting Lindsey Graham? Who votes for the MAGA agenda? The clip that we watched is from 2016. Like I said, J.D. Vance was anti-Trump too. A lot of people were anti-Trump. You're still playing something from 2016. I don't really care for Lindsey Graham, but that's up to the voters in his
But you
district.
guys hold Tucker and Candace and everybody else to a different standard with that. So why?
Well, we can get to that now, but we're talking about an elected member. Is that our fault? Who votes for him?
2021.
Okay, so wait, your issue is with the voters of his district that keep electing him. If they want to replace him, they can, and they should.
Trump doesn't have to endorse him or work with him. Like, they're all buddy-buddy now. He doesn't have to do that. I didn't clip it all, dang.
Smart
endorses
Lindsey,
it.
and not Lindsey Graham.
Trump endorses
well,
Lindsey Graham. You know that.
hasn't been anti-Trump for years. You guys keep holding him to something that he said in
And Trump did attack
2016.
Lindsey Graham when Lindsey Graham attacked him. Trump did attack Lindsey
Unlike
Graham.
Massey,
now
who
there's
doesn't
no
vote.
daylight because he's not behind the
Massey
wars in the Middle
doesn't
East.
vote.
Tucker Carlson
I
called
don't
him the
think so.
Antichrist, and similarly,
I don't think he
Trump
did.
is also attacking him. I guess what's the difference?
Massey doesn't vote with Trump. He has before, but not as much as
91% of the time.
Lindsey Graham.
He votes with.
Oh, so you either have to vote for anything that Trump wants you to vote for, no matter how anti what the people want it is. That's kind of a long way of saying that. You know what I mean? Or what, you're like bad? Like, oh, if you don't do whatever Trump says, that's totally bad. Okay.
Trump 91% of the time, except when they're taking up for pedophiles, expanding the debt, and going into endless wars. He has consistently voted with them. And when he votes against them, it's because they'll be like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do the I Love Puppies bill. And in the I Love Puppies bill, it's like, we're also going to expand the deficit another $1 trillion. And he's like, well, I'm going to vote against that. And everyone's like, oh, well, that means Thomas Massey hates puppies.
Yeah.
That's right.
And for the record, what Trump has done to MTG has been unbelievably disgusting. I
It's
mean,
actually the best thing I've ever seen.
I'm sure that she probably, I don't know her. Again, I have never seen this chick before, but I would not be surprised if you go back and find her saying all kinds of nice things about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And now it's, oh, obviously, like, she sucks. Because Trump said so. I used to make fun of people that said, like, oh, the whole Trump thing, Trumpism is this cult, and I used to make fun of that because I didn't think that it was real, because I was like, yeah, people just vote for him because they don't like what the left is doing, and they're all perfectly reasonable people. But now I'm seeing that it does seem like there is a segment of people that are really in this, like, cult, and no matter what Trump says goes, and everybody who he suddenly doesn't like was apparently bad the whole time. It's completely bananas. I have to say, like, I was wrong. There is really a Trump cult, and it's icky. It's totally icky. Again, not everybody who supported him is in this Trump cult, but it does seem like there is one, and it does seem like these people on the right-hand side of the room might be in it. At least that's how they're talking. So, and I only have their word to go off of.
Nobody's more deserving of that. Yes.
Why do you feel that way?
Well, I think that she's demonstrated loyalty to Trump that really surpasses anyone else in Congress, and did so on a principled level, doing it based off of actually what, like, the Owen Schroyers, the true MAGA base of the world, were actually desiring and demanding of the GOP, and ultimately Donald Trump filled that void. And then for her to be, I mean, not just...
For her to what?
Not just
Quit?
quit
her job?
For her to not just be, ousted, but also insulted and threatened on the way out the door. I thought it was disgusting.
She turned on him first. She wasn't ousted.
She was.
The level of cope with these people. Honestly, I expected this to be bad, but this is just sad.
She turned on him first. If you don't turn on people who turn on you, you're a bitch.
Couldn't you say the same thing about Donald Trump? Because he gets insulted by Tucker Carlson, and he goes and he...
Yeah, they drew first blood.
So isn't that Trump being a bitch? Shouldn't he just brush it off?
No, that's him retaliating. If he's up there leading the free world...
Oh, if it's Trump doing it, he's retaliating. But if anybody else does it, it's they okay, yeah, okay.
His friends are talking shit about him, and he's not calling them out. You look weak. It's bad for all of us.
So that's all fine, but I think when I'm looking at this issue, again, I don't care about the personality beefs. When I look at this directionally, Trump is acting with more vengeance towards the people that put their skin in the game than the very deep state that tried to kill him.
Out of the game, then you're a traitor. You betrayed him.
I don't.
There's
You
two
can say
separate
what you
things
want
here.
about Mark.
What is this traitor betrayed him thing? He is not the country. You can be a traitor to the country. You can't be like, oh, you're a traitor to Trump. You, like, betrayed Trump. Okay, he is not the country. If they are loyal to the country and to their constituents, like the citizens of the country, they are not traitors. If Trump is not loyal to the constituents, maybe he's the traitor. I guess they haven't thought about it that way, huh?
There's Tucker and Candace and all that, and even MTG I would put in that. And that's someone who had my back, who helped my career, and then just turned on me. These are people that were standing next to me.
That's fine.
What
So-
was the
so
betrayal?
Trump-
He was called him the Antichrist in Tucker's case.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. You said she betrayed him.
She abandoned him. She stopped
She
supporting
wanted the Epstein files to be released. What?
Okay, so you have to have... I'll let Clint talk.
A piece of shit
But
she
hold
is.
on, let's let that go. Trump, Marjorie Taylor, I don't care about that.
And Owen.
Where is Trump's vengeance against the people that stole the election in 2020? Where is Trump's
Oh, you think a tweet is a vengeance?
He pardoned everyone for that.
No, who stole the election?
I understand, but
where's his
the election was stolen.
That's pretty good.
Hold on a second. You said that I have some personal issue because of vengeance. It's not about me.
Yeah,
it's about the
Owen.
country.
Most people don't think that way.
No,
Most
it's
people,
not.
when I talk to my mom, when I talk to people who
okay.
aren't online like we are, because we are chronically online, every single person here, more than the average American, they're not thinking about any of this stuff. They're not thinking about, is Fauci going to jail? Are we going to do the 2020 election?
I think a lot of people would be happy to see him in jail.
Population. We're talking about Washington, D.C. You said that I got off the Trump train when things got hard. You know that's not true. I was put in jail 4 times for Trump, and I didn't abandon him, and I still promoted him in the 2024 election. So I do not abandon when things get tough. I'm a principled person
So
that
why did
stands
you
on
leave
my
him?
values.
You left him way before Iran.
Because he called the Epstein files a hoax.
They are
he
a
got
hoax.
us into war with Iran.
Wow. Oh my goodness. These people like that exist. That is something, like, I knew people like this existed. It's just weird hearing them talk and be so confident about something so obviously insane. Like, they're so sure.
So
you were off the train way before Iran.
No, when he called the Epstein files a hoax, that was the first time where I started getting squeamish. Then they
by the way, was the same month.
Then they stopped doing Doge. They stopped the Doge progress, and then they got into another war with Iran. So that was like strike 3, you're out. That was strike 3 out. But here's the issue on this
Doge wasn't supposed to be forever, Owen. It was a project that was supposed to go away. We all knew that, right?
And none of it has been
You
codified
do
by
that,
the
right?
Congress.
You know that.
And then any money they potentially saved at all, they turned around and spent it all, and even more on top of that with the big, disgusting bills.
It was supposed to shrink. It was supposed to fire people. It happened. It was supposed to cut unnecessary spending. It happened.
And then we spent even more. Wow. We cut such spending. Amazing. Wow. That is such amazing spend, fiscal, such responsibility. Wow.
Where this week we're seeing the depositions of the kids that worked on
The e-files, absolutely.
Doge happen in real time, and a judge this week struck down, I forgot what it was. They said that it was illegal. All of the grants that we stopped funding was illegal for the federal government to do that. So you're going to tell me that there's lawsuits going on?
So the swamp is winning.
There's lawsuits going on, but nothing happened.
Here's my question. So the swamp is winning. Here's my question. Why is it that directional energy that Trump is willing to thrust toward
I have a Fauci for prison shirt. That's a good shirt. I support that.
towards the people that have broken with him? Where is that towards the deep state? Where is that
The
to
two
people
are not
trying to put
mutually
him in
exclusive.
prison? Where is that
How many times has he lied to Congress by now?
to the people that stole the election? Where is that to all the people that Trump has accused of committing treason? I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing it against principled conservatives.
For
that have
posting
beef
a
with him.
tweet? You think that's vengeance? It's a fucking tweet.
I agree with what he's saying.
It's a
because,
tweet.
Who wants a
like,
tweet? I want
people-
action.
Well, it's like, I agree
I
with
want
what you're saying.
arrests.
Like, people have gone after you, tried to kill you. They literally, like, laugh about your death and the death of all of us, literally, if we were to die. And I'm like, how about a little bit more of that energy towards putting these people in jail?
Does Comey just get
consequences
arrested?
for their
Isn't he
actions,
going to
but
jail?
also, he's turning
That's
on
not
people
gonna be
with
anything.
huge platforms that are going to vote for Republicans, and I just don't think
I
that's
think he's
smart
got plenty of
overall.
energy. He's
Those are,
going
like,
after the
the
deep
top-watch
state.
people in the
He's going
country.
after his enemies.
He's going after the deep state. He is the deep state. How can you not? He is the deep state. I don't know if he always was the deep state, but he literally is the deep state. That's what he's doing. Okay. How is it any different if the deep state gets everything they want? Or like almost everything they want. It's not any different. Like, you can say you're against the deep state, but then if you come in and do everything that the deep state also supports, like, you are the deep state. There is no difference. You can call yourself whatever you want, but if the result is the deep state gets what the deep state wants, how is that different?
Yeah, but the fight has always been Trump against the media, and they are
I
the
see
media
action
as well.
every day.
So they're not exempt from being
Who have
criticized.
you seen perp walked?
James Comey was just arrested.
He was not arrested.
No, he
That's
wasn't.
not true.
The indictment on Comey failed.
He was arrested, but not perp walked. Like, he had to go
Never put in
answer for his
cuffs,
indictment.
and the indictments failed.
Donald Trump has mugshots. You have
Right, but
the
who did that?
FBI.
Fannie
Hold on,
Willis
hold on.
did that to him.
You have the FBI
Also,
that spied
indicted
on him.
failed.
They framed him for fucking treason. Then Fauci creates a bioweapon, unleashes it upon
Well,
the
that's
world.
legitimate.
No one's gone to
But
jail.
you guys are missing
And I
something.
don't think no one will.
If I may, I think
And that's a total failure.
that is a
I don't think
failure.
I don't think no one
I
will.
can answer your question, though.
Sure.
It's about Trump being project focused, right? Right now, he has very
Oh, what's the focus? Killing people in the Middle East? Wonderful.
specific thing he's trying to accomplish.
Can
And
you
the reason
add that to the
he's going
fucking
after the
project?
people.
That's such a big
Let me
deal.
explain.
Is that an agenda
Hold on, I'll
is
explain.
that in Agenda 47? Is that in any of the 20 points of Agenda 47?
He talked about it on the
Right?
campaign
RNC
trail.
and the
I don't know about on the
cabinet-
document.
But let me ask,
well, you
what
should
is
know
all the-
because there are 20 promises made to the American people. Perp walking Obama, and Fauci is not one of them.
But
Sorry.
regardless, and I think that's
It
important.
isn't.
I think we all want to see those people in jail, yes. But we have to look at what the number one priority is right now. What is the number one priority, I think, for all of us to prevent, right?
Well,
We
avoiding
don't want
World War III and
Democrats.
deportation.
We don't want Democrats winning in November. That is, I think.
That's not the number one priority. The number one priority is not to have World War III. How does he? Okay.
The number one priority of everybody who votes, right?
No, that's not my
No.
priority.
What is your number one priority?
Yeah, I don't think that's my priority.
Right now, in this moment, what is
My
your
number one priority is not letting the Iran war
Okay.
escalate into World War III.
Thank you, people who are reasonable.
So,
it hasn't.
But this is the issue.
You guys jumped off the
That's
Trump train
I would say
assuming
I would
that
say
Iran
my
is going to be a
priorities-
nightmare.
Here's my priorities.
Yeah.
Arresting every member of the deep state, the people that
Exactly.
facilitated the
Fantasies.
invasion of this country, the people that stole the election, the people that tried to incarcerate Trump, the people that weaponized the government. All
That's a fantasy.
all these things need to
I don't
happen.
think it's a fantasy.
I don't think it's a fantasy.
The other thing
We
is,
disagree-
sure, it's a
we
fantasy.
disagree.
So you're willing to
I
let
think
the
it's a
country go.
fantasy.
You're willing to let the country
I
die
think
because
it's
it's
a
a fantasy
fantasy.
to save the country. So you're not a revolutionary.
I don't think that's
you're just a
saving the
political
country. I
clock
think
is what
that's
you are.
your
Here's the
your
other
fantasy.
thing.
That's the
Everybody,
only
this
sure
is going to be,
fantasy.
and I think you would agree with me on this. This is going to be a big midterm election issue, and the Republicans are going to blow it. The AI surveillance state that they're building right now.
And then warrantless
All
surveillance.
this is going to
I'm really glad that he brought that up because I have been looking into that lately, all the flock stuff and these crazy like hyper whatever data centers that they're building. It's crazy out there, and the flock cameras are going up, and some cities have voted them down, but then they just go over to the next city and they use their like. And I've seen propaganda the other day. I think I posted it in Discord, a Discord channel at some point. But I should have saved it. I could probably find it again. But it's you know what? I'll just look for it while this plays. I like the bald dude. I do too. Clint Russell is one of my favorite creators.
You crushed the Republicans in the midterm.
No, you know what's going to crush us in November? It's really pretty simple. What's going to crush us in November, and this is why I'm so frustrated about, and I don't want to get, maybe we get into gas prices. Gas prices, and it's not the fact that people are paying that much more and it's actually affecting them. Unemployment's still going down. We've added 187,000 jobs this month. So gas prices isn't actually affecting the economy, but it's affecting the psyche of the voter. That is a November issue, but I'll put that aside for a second with the most important thing to Trump. And I understand what's important to you right now is the Iran thing, but the most important thing to Trump right now is preventing Democrats from winning in November. The most important thing we can do to prevent Democrats from winning in November is passing the Save America
the war
Act.
in Iran.
That is the legislative victories
over.
is where Trump is laser focused. So he's going to attack anybody that is standing in the way of him accomplishing his
David,
priorities.
I need to ask you a
and
question.
we're getting so sidetracked.
David,
Just,
I need
just
to
so
ask
you know, the Iran war is connected to the gas prices. Just
I need to ask you a
Well,
question.
we can talk about that, yeah.
Because what you just said, in my opinion, is what shuts these conversations down. Why didn't you have my back in that exchange?
First of all,
Damn, you've been called.
What is with this like coming up stuff? Like it's a single video. We don't need it coming up for something that's in the same video.
Is what shuts these conversations down all the time.
that?
And why an event like, I'm going to tell you, but why an event like this I think is so rare. I mean, nobody's doing what we're doing today. And it's because every time there's any sort of dissent or dissatisfaction with the administration, what people are told is, stop questioning the administration. All of our focus should be on fighting the Democrats. And this is why people never get to express their dissent or their dissatisfaction.
That's what 2024 was all about. It's like, that's what 2024 is about. Now we're here, and we're giving it all up.
Right. We beat them. Now we want the fucking GOP to deliver on their promises, and you guys are like, well, they're delivering on enough.
No,
We're
the
like,
GOP is not delivering on their promises.
Yeah, that comes down
back
to
to the topic though, of like the Megans, the Tuckers,
Yeah.
the Candace Owenses. Tucker Carlson on his show has not.
Let me see. Okay. Bullet hole. 1 second. Just real quick, this is kind of what I was talking about. It's only a few minutes long, but just listen to this for a second.
Holes left at an Austin Fire Department station. It's one of 2 stations shot at, as well as homes and apartments. It was a weekend of chaos in Austin. 4 people injured after teens went on a shooting spree. It started on Saturday with reports of a stolen gun from a gun store and a stolen car from an apartment complex. Austin police then receiving calls about another stolen car and 7 different shootings, including one at a fire.
So this is like, okay, some kids allegedly got into it, if this is even real. But like as they're going through this news story, check out like exactly what they're pointing out. Look, it's a fire station. They fired at a fire station. Who like firemen are like so important. We need them, which I don't disagree with. But it's like, oh, the innocent firemen that do so much good for the community, and they're getting shot at. It could be you tomorrow. It could be your local whatever. Like this is very like you're in danger. You're in danger. This is like basically. This is the propaganda that's like making people feel unsafe, and they're like, okay, look at how unsafe you are. Look at how crazy unsafe you are. Even if you think you're the nicest person and you don't ever get into beef with anybody, you don't have any enemies, you are in danger because these random kids could one day steal a car and rob a gun store, I guess, and start randomly shooting at people on the street, and it could be you. Even if you never have beef with anybody, it could be you. Even if you're the most peaceful person and you don't think it could happen to you, it could happen to you. You could be standing on the street one day and get, bam, hit. This is like exactly what they're selling here. And they have,
station.
oh, don't worry, they have a solution too.
Calls then stopped for a bit. Then it all picked back up Sunday morning after reports of 2 more stolen cars, then another shooting.
A man walking his dog was struck in the back.
You could be walking your dog on the street like you do every day, and bam, somebody gets you in the back.
With gunfire.
Then another fire station hit.
The fire truck was
fire stations.
Struck while fire personnel were right behind that truck.
She says a camera also showed a woman shot from a passing car while simply standing outside a store talking to a friend.
You could be talking to a friend standing outside a store, and bam, you get hit.
Davis says shots were fired at 12 different locations. 5 vehicles were stolen, prompting a shelter-in-place notification to residents. Austin Travis County EMS says 4 people were hurt, 1 seriously injured.
These are dangerous kids out causing havoc in the city, and they had to be taken into custody.
Austin police issued a bolo, or be on the lookout, for a white Kia the teens had stolen. That's when Manor police used their license plate reader technology, and within minutes...
You see where this is going now?
It's spotted the car and followed it.
Our officers gave pursuit through Old Town Manor, a little bit down 290, and resulting going northbound on 973 here, where the suspect then tried to cut across the field behind us and ultimately wrecked out.
Manor Police Chief Phipps says 3 teens got out and ran. The 15-year-old and a 17-year-old were caught quickly. A 16-year-old triggered a massive hours-long manhunt. Multiple law enforcement agencies flooding the area, turning a local gas station into a staging area as these 2 people were leaving.
I was freaked out. I mean, I don't know.
Damn, those eyelashes are crazy. Those are like full-on like mink hats on her eyes.
I know what to think. I was freaked out.
You know, I was thinking about trying the fake lashes because I know people do them and it's like a common thing to do now. I've never tried that before. I was thinking about trying it. So if you see me show up one day with fake lashes, you know why. But that is like straight up lash blindness going on there.
It's scary. You know, you think those things
Damn.
stay far away from you.
Look at those things. I don't know how she can even like blink with those things on
see
there.
them on the news and stuff, and now we're 2 miles from home. It's horrible. I don't like it.
Yeah, see, you just like, you see stuff on the news, but you don't think it's going to happen to you. It could happen to anybody. You could just be going to the gas station with your girlfriend with the crazy eyelashes and bam.
The 16-year-old was eventually caught at an H-E-B fuel station covered in mud just after 9 Sunday night. Now, a debate brewing over...
Now, how can we give you a solution here that you shall be constantly surveilled?
Why it took so long to track them down. Austin police currently don't use license plate readers. The program ended last year after privacy and civil liberties concerns. Manor PD used the technology.
Oh, the citizens had privacy and civil liberty concerns. And look what happened when you have privacy concern. Look what happened. People get hurt. You could be hurt. You could be next. You could be standing outside the store and bam. See what happens when you want privacy? This is what you get. You want privacy? You get shot, basically. This is so on the nose.
In under an hour.
It's not.
And look, we couldn't do it. It was for days. They were causing havoc. You could be walking your dog. Everybody was getting pew-pewed all over the place. And then because you voted these things out of your city, the city like right next to us, while they had these flock cameras, and thank goodness that they had these flock cameras, because if they hadn't had these flock cameras, who knows who could be next? It could be you. It could be your grandma walking down the street, talking to her friend outside a store. She could have been next, because we cannot possibly catch people that are shooting from a car if we don't have these flock cameras literally everywhere, spying on your every move.
Hypothetical whether the technology would have helped or not. Had that technology not been in Manor, we may never have known that's where they went until
This is so on the nose.
another shooting happened.
The Austin mayor...
Sorry, I've... Mindless obedience, absolutely. I'm not watching the screen, so that boom sound they edited and jump scared me. Oh, I apologize. Hopefully I didn't jump scare yos. Also adding some boom sounds in there. They're not wrong. It could be me. They don't need to beat us over the head with it, though. Mink hats on her eyes. She blinks and knocks over old ladies with the wind generated. It could be you getting struck by her eyelashes. That's a good one. Maybe it was her. Maybe she just like blinked all over the place, and that's how people got knocked over.
And police chief agreeing the technology would have been helpful.
What I'll say is this: probably having license plate readers would have been helpful under these circumstances.
Could that have helped? Yes, it could have helped.
Governor Greg.
Yes, the license plate readers. That's all they are, you guys. They're just license plate readers. And if we have them everywhere, we could be so safe, you guys.
Abbott taking it a step further, blasting local.
Did they really? I did not notice this the first time I saw this.
Under these circumstances.
Could that have helped? Yes, it could have helped.
Governor Greg Abbott taking it a step further.
Taking it a step further as he... Did they do that on purpose? They had to have done that on purpose. How could they literally... They literally said taking it a step further as they show him rolling. Like, I'm not laughing at people with disabilities. I would never do that. But it's like, how could they couldn't use any other word. They had to use literally taking it a step further. They could not have any other language to say that part right there. They couldn't possibly choose another way of conveying that thought.
Blasting local leaders.
Stop being easy on criminals and start deploying whatever tool you can access to make sure.
Yes, they gotta deploy any tool we can access. What is this, like, privacy, schmivacy, whatever? What is that? You don't need that. You don't... Civil liberties, schmiberties. Any tool.
You're going to be able to prevent crime and quickly solve it.
Oops. All right. That's enough of that. Seriously, those Flock cameras, and not just Flock, like, they're one company out of several, but they're probably the most well-known ones at this point. But those cameras are... It's out of control. Like, what we wanted was the deep state to be put in their place and preferably removed. But what we got was the deep state is deploying a complete, like, mass surveillance apparatus on the entire country and basically starting World War III. That's what we got. And these people are just sitting there like, it doesn't matter. If Trump says it, he's, like, totally right about everything. And if you vote against him, you're, like, a traitor. So, like, yeah. I don't know, it's like, it's how she sits. I don't know. She's been doing that the whole time. Step further. I didn't even notice it the first time, but I was like, wait a minute.
Brought up the Save America Act a singular time. He's not brought up the Save America Act one time on a show. So in terms of, like, actually passing policy rather than just sitting in your studio and just bitching all the time, like, there's no alternative solution proposed. Like, right now, Trump
this is so misdirected. I know. Tucker Carlson doesn't have a vote. So what are you talking about?
Tucker Carlson, what are you talking?
Tucker Carlson,
how many votes does Tucker Carlson have on the Save Act? Zero.
There's kind of like this double-edged sword that you love to play. Of, like, number one, the mainstream media is dead. We are the new media. We have the power now.
Correct.
So if the media attacks something that you disagree with the media on, should we just be like, oh, the media doesn't have a vote?
No,
like,
you're saying Tucker isn't doing enough for the Save Act. I'm saying he doesn't have a vote.
Tucker Carlson has a massive
He's obviously wildly influential.
You're saying that he's so. You're saying
so again. So you think Tucker Carlson has more influence?
I don't know exactly what's in this Save Act, but I'm willing to bet that it's something like how that redhead was saying with the Save the Puppies bill. You can't possibly vote against the Save the Puppies bill. Do you hate puppies? I guarantee it's something like that. It's probably something as stupid as the Big Beautiful Bill. Or maybe worse if it's called Save America. Like, when are people...
Influence on Republican votes in Congress than Trump.
What Trump is trying to pass.
No, they're both
America
very
Act.
influential.
Trump is.
You think Tucker more than Trump?
No, but they're both.
Okay, so thank you.
Trump is obviously incredibly influential.
What is this red herring that you're bringing up?
It's also.
You're just putting.
Why can't the Save Act get passed? Why can't the Save Act get passed?
Trump is trying to pass the Save America Act. When we're talking about getting results, the Save America Act is a result that Republican voters want. Actually, most Americans want.
We know if you ever play rock, paper, scissors with this guy, you know what he's going to pick.
Carlson has not mentioned the Save America Act a single time. I'm trying to stay to the topic, which is about loyalty and about why Trump is attacking Tucker, Megyn. I'm not even going to group Candace Owens in this. That is why. I'm bringing it back to the topic that in terms of, like, getting results from the American.
The only thing that I hear from this guy is, like, over-talking other people constantly and trying to be, like, alpha and keep saying that they're changing the topic and that he's bringing it back to the topic, whatever the topic is supposed to be. Like, every single, I could probably count on more than one hand by this point how many times he has said, "Oh, I'm bringing back to the topic. You're off topic."
American people. The Save America Act is a result, and Tucker Carlson has decided, I don't really care about this.
He doesn't have a vote. None of us have a vote on the Save America Act. That's literally all Congress.
But the topic is loyalty. The topic is loyalty. So the question is, are people allowed to express dissent from President Trump without being considered disloyal and then getting cut off?
Can I interject? I don't like that framing at all. What are we even talking about? We have to be loyal to a politician? Is that America?
Thank you, Clint, over here with the reason.
It's the topic.
What are we talking?
Finally, somebody saying something reasonable.
It's crazy.
Owen sure also has the crazy socks. I think it must be like a crazy sock day or something, but only on the people in the first, in the middle chairs, I guess.
Politician.
So tell me.
Why? Why would we?
At least his are like American flag themed, so they're relevant to the conversation, I guess, since it's politics in America.
Never be loyal to a politician. They owe us loyalty. We are their constituency. They have to deliver on the promises to us. This is totally inverted. This is evidence that you guys exist in a cult.
Wait, we did not come up with the question of loyalty. I don't think we owe loyalty to anyone. I think that if you look at what you're...
But other people owe loyalty to Trump, but you don't owe loyalty to... okay, I mean, whatever you say, bro.
I mean, if we're going back to the broader
topic... That's not true. That's not true. He just said that Tucker and Candace and all of them, they were disloyal, right? That's what
correct.
He said.
Tucker and Meghan, it's not about... and I think this is, again, it's not black and white. There's nuance to what Gavin's saying. It's not about loyalty. Tucker literally called Trump the Antichrist. Meghan was fired, basically, from Fox News because she was attacking Trump.
Who gives a fuck? They have a podcast. He's the president of the United States. They can say whatever they want.
Of course they can. He doesn't have to kiss their ass.
And Trump
That's the thing.
Okay, he told them to fuck off.
In terms of your question, like, are people allowed to express dissent without Trump going after them? Can we agree that there's a difference between dissent and calling someone the Antichrist, someone specifically who was at now 3 attempts?
So then,
let's talk about but the conflict began before Tucker.
Let's talk about results.
When Trump really went after him, it was after he called him the Antichrist. And by the way, he called him the if we're talking about principled conservatism, he called him the Antichrist after Trump Truth Social, saying it will be the end of a civilization. In 2022, Tucker Carlson on Fox News said, I hate Iran, they deserve to be annihilated. So in terms of like principled conservatism, Tucker switched his whole positions. Trump essentially said what Tucker said before, and then Tucker calls him the Antichrist. I mean, if we're talking about like principledness, it's like, if you can show me a misalignment of where...
Okay, but nobody voted for Tucker to deliver on his promises. So... if he changed his mind, he's allowed to do that. But we didn't vote for Tucker to deliver, getting rid of Iran. that nobody voted for anybody to do that. Like, I don't understand how this is even remotely similar.
Trump has changed from 2024, go back 2016 to now, and then I can show you a litany of areas where Tucker is.
Are you compensated to track the transcripts of Tucker Carlson's monologues? Because I find it fascinating. I've never seen anyone that knows that knows. It's not. I literally just sprung to mind. I've never seen anyone that actually knows like the timestamps of the shit that he said and when he's evolved his position. This is remarkable. Are you his biggest fan?
That is actually a good point. That I could not possibly remember like who said what when, even if I knew overall the kinds of things that were said. I could not possibly hold the timeline of, oh, this person had beef with this person, they said this on this date. That is actually pretty remarkable.
Involved, but Instagram is,
are you the attack line right now is that I'm being factual? Is that your position?
Yeah,
I've also brought up different times that Trump has said something as well. I've also brought up different times that Lindsey
take a moment to take a turn.
No, he got paid by Bibi. Is that the answer?
Well, I don't get what
Bibi
guys, please.
The answer it tells me that might be.
Israel paid.
You can continue the conversation.
You actually think, wait,
guys, you can continue the conversation.
By foreign government.
Guys, please. You can continue the conversation. I'm just saying this is a good opportunity to take a turn because this issue affects more than just Trump and high-profile podcasters. It affects the way we interact with each other. So the current MAGA side has adopted terms like panicants and doomers to describe people on the right who question the administration about issues ranging from the economy to personnel choices to the Iran war. The implication appears to be that speaking up about concerns is a sign of panic and distrust of a larger plan at work. The invention and usage of these terms has contributed to those on the other side who may now identify as America First instead of MAGA, saying that MAGA has become a cult of groupthink and unquestioning devotion to Donald Trump. Are people allowed to question this administration without being labeled as traitors? Resume.
Brendan, we have been called a cult.
Compared to all of the other chapters, this is a very small one. It's only like 10, not even 10, 22. It's only like 3 minutes long.
Since 2016, it's switched now, and now they do it because we don't change our positions.
Accurate,
so now they've taken the rhetoric. I'm not necessarily saying these four, but in general, that side of what the left used to do to us for all these years because we don't change our positions now. Do I think them criticizing Trump is being a doomer or a trait? I don't think so necessarily, but I will tell you this. Since before Trump took office, December 2024, on X specifically, people have been tuning out. December 2024, they started with the H-1B visas before Trump was even inaugurated. They have been fighting since before this man took the oath. That is something that a few of us have noticed and said, this is more of a psyop. The fact that they panic about everything, if he says, if he tweets, they have taken
Yep, everybody who disagrees with you, it must be a psyop.
the same personality that the left had from 2016 to 2020. That's just my opinion.
What about calling everybody Nazis? Do you think it's helpful that Mark Levin has called everybody a Nazi that disagrees with him and then said that we got to ban the speech of Nazis?
Yeah, the Democrats called us racist, and now
We're Nazis. So if people on the America First, America Only side call you guys a cult, you guys aren't much better by calling us Nazis.
I've never. What do you mean?
I don't think
Nazis? What are you
I don't think
talking
you're a
about?
Nazi or a traitor. I think you guys are fair weather friends. And
I've
you've dumped
literally
him
never
because
said any of your
immigration,
We're talking about Mark
immigration
Levin.
isn't good enough. That's your one argument.
Okay, well, I don't
say
even
me.
listen to
I
Mark
didn't call
Levin.
you a cult.
I don't
call me a
even
Nazi.
listen to
We're
Mark
using
Levin.
general terms right now.
So your reason seemed to be the borders isn't being policed well enough. There's not enough deportations. That's a very subjective thing. So that's not a good enough reason to jump off the train. The second one is the Epstein files. I'm sorry to break it to you. The Epstein files are gay and boring. A bunch of
What? Is he for real? Wow, this is sad. This is, I don't even know if this is cope. This is like complete delusion at this point. It's not even cope. It's like to be so deluded to think that everything Trump says is true and that this thing is that he happens to not want to reveal is like not even a real thing anymore, apparently, even though there have been documents released and people have gone to prison and been convicted. And there have been like years of investigations and witnesses coming forward with evidence. Like, this is sad. I've only heard of this guy like once before. He looks familiar. His name sounds familiar, but I don't know what it is that he does. But, you know what I mean? Like, There are crazy socks on both sides, absolutely. I didn't know that Owen also had the crazy socks on, but it seems like both the people that are up front have the crazy socks. Doesn't seem like anybody else does. The Owen socks were a surprise to me. The files, the files are gay and boring because the evidence is all redacted, not because they don't exist. Word. He's the founder of the Proud Boys. Wait, no way. I don't know if you're kidding or not.
rich dudes are having sex with teenagers. I don't care. It's called Motley Crue backstage. It's a snooze fest. So drop the.
What? That's disgusting. Like, is he just literally writing off that it's apparently okay now if they're teenagers? It's okay.
Gay and boring. If a bunch of rich dudes are having sex with teenagers, I don't care. It's called Motley Crue backstage.
I did not think he would say that. I don't even know what. I am so surprised. Honestly, like, I knew that this was going to be cope, and so far it has been a lot of cope and a lot of delusion and weird delusion. But this is a whole new level of disgusting. Honestly, that's disgusting. That is disgusting, disturbing, wrong, and like super duper icky. What the actual fuck is he talking about? Like, it's cool if they're teenagers. What? That's disgusting. That's like the same kind of shit that Andrew Wilson was saying about the same topic. Like, oh, it wasn't children because they were 14. Like, this is so gross. I'm surprised. Like, I kind of expected that from somebody who says nasty shit all the time, but I'm not aware of like what this person says all the time, so I wasn't expecting this sort of thing from him. And honestly, I wasn't even expecting that from Wilson when he said it. I thought that he would be more. At least he would lie about it. Like, if he really believed disgusting stuff like that, I thought he would at least lie about it and say like, or not say stuff like that. This is so disturbing. This can't, like, we can't let people say stuff like this and let them get away with it and just pretend like they didn't say anything completely messed up. Like, this has to be called out. Like, I have to clip this afterwards and post it on X and hope that people share it if somebody hasn't already done that, because this is disgusting. And people that say stuff like this, they need to be called out and identified, and that is so disturbing. All because they're teenagers at school. What the? I did not expect to hear that tonight. A nationalist group is true. I didn't know that he was the leader. I thought it was what's his name? I forgot. E something. I thought it was like a younger I thought it was like a younger black dude that was the Proud Boys leader or something. I didn't know that he was, or maybe you said founder. Maybe that's different from leader. We only have 2% of the e-files. Yeah, the amount of stuff that they redacted is crazy. And something about the files too is it seems like they, in my personal opinion, it seems like they purposely unredacted some victim stuff that they were supposed to redact, so people would like try to say, oh well, if they can't do it right, maybe don't release them at all, because they keep releasing victim information and stuff like that. But they purposely made absolutely sure to redact anything that could possibly identify any of the perpetrators. How curious that it always falls on that side. I think they were hoping that if they like unredacted some victim information, that people would be like too nervous to release the rest of it, because if you can't do it right, don't do it at all. But that didn't work the way that they wanted, and I don't know. It's a conspiracy theory of mine, I guess. But yeah, that most of it was just blacked out, and even the little that we have seen that was unredacted was disturbing enough. Imagine this kind of stuff. If what we saw was so disturbing, imagine the kind of stuff that we haven't seen. Imagine how disturbing that is, and how many people are involved in something that disturbing and big. Gavin Dude, I haven't seen much of him, but he used to be in Edgelord. Don't know these days what he's on about. Yeah, I'm like I said, I've only seen him like once somewhere.
It's a snooze fest. So drop the Epstein files. Now.
Patriot Front. I thought the Patriot Front were like feds, because they look like feds to me. I don't know. Every time I have seen Patriot Front, I thought that that's straight up feds. Like I can't look at those people and think like, oh, this is like a real organization with real people that are for reals, for realsies. They just look like feds. I don't know. I can't help it. Every time I see them in the news or anything, when I have seen them in the news, I just immediately I looked at them and I was like, this is all feds. This is like 100% a fed thing. These people are busy splashing around for a better position in like a fire. It's a good way to put it. There are several groups, but they've been accused of being feds. I don't know if they're still relevant. Yeah, it seems like I would say a Patriot Front to me looked like pretty much feds. I think if people joined thinking they weren't feds, like after they got formed, that's possible that some of them aren't. But I think there are probably at least feds present in each of the groups. But like Patriot Front specifically looked like it was started by and is pretty much mostly feds. At least the ones that go out and do stuff. Personal opinion, of course. I have no particular proof of this. It's just how they look. The blogger you mentioned indeed was a fed. I think the others, one I don't remember. Yeah, what was his name? He's been going on and shows and doing interviews and stuff too. I used to, if I see it, I will recognize it, but I can't think of it right now. I thought it started with an E for some reason. Enrique, yes, Enrique Tario. Thank you. Enrique Tario. Yeah, that guy.
Iran?
Definitely a fed, though. In my opinion. Yeah, and Guitario, for sure. See, teamwork makes the dream work.
Iran hasn't. It's been 2 months. It's been 1 month of action, 15 dead Americans, and 1 month of pretty much no action.
Why is he saying 15 dead Americans as if it's matter of fact? Okay, he's like, he said it so like with everything else, like 15 dead Americans, whatever. I know he didn't say whatever, but he said it as if he meant whatever.
I can explain to you the merit of the war in Iran. It's not a war. It's a brilliant
I bet if it was one of his family members that was one of the 15, he wouldn't be saying shit like that.
geopolitical move that can put us in the front seat of the global oil. And right now we have London handling that.
We have a segment about Iran.
Right.
I'd like to, for the moment, keep it about how we interact with each other, because, Linda, you made the point that they've become a lot like the left. I mean, what do you think about the idea that using terms like panicans, doomers,
Well, I'm not saying specifically
shuts down
these
conversation?
Wait,
like the left
Brandon,
does?
don't you think it also shuts down a conversation for him to just accuse me that I'm taking foreign money out of nowhere?
Well, for the record, I didn't say foreign money. I asked if you were paid for your talking point.
Oh, what's going on with the microphone?
She said, bye, BB, and you go, yeah? Did you not?
I said, yeah, maybe.
Okay, so I'm saying, like, if we're talking about shutting down conversation, I mean, that's just such a stupid thing to say.
No, it's not.
If we're talking about shutting down conversation,
Why can it cause us a cold?
It was a
That
personal
doesn't shut
dig.
down conversation?
Which you do have the opportunity to respond to. I don't think it's indicative of a broader ideological idea that one team versus the
Can I
other.
talk about the subject, like the specific subject you asked?
Yes.
It's almost like his mic isn't working and we can hear him through somebody else's or something.
I've been bleeding followers since I started talking about Israel,
Yeah.
and then immediately, the second I say anything online, I am treated worse than we would treat people on the left who are actually fucking crazy for the most. By the way, I'm not attacking Israel or Netanyahu. I'm not speaking negatively about Jews as a whole. A lot of people are. I'm not one of those people. But the way I am treated and it's actually unbelievable. And this is worse than the cancel culture I've received from the left. Because the second you're labeled anti-Semitic in this industry, you are not doing well. Brands are dropping you, deals are dropping you, and I'm like, my thing is when I criticize him, I'm also talking about the wins. The wins are very important, and I'm not like end of days. I'm very hopeful. I'm voting red no matter what. All I care about is winning the next election, because those people scare the fuck out of me, and I think they would literally kill us if they could. And it's terrifying, and that's all I care about is winning. But it is crazy when I criticize him. I bleed followers. All of a sudden, I'm a grifter, I'm a sellout, I'm a liberal, and I'm like, that is not accurate. I'm allowed to criticize him. I voted for him.
Yeah, it does seem like as soon as you disagree with like one thing, you're like, oh, you're a leftist.
I also ruined my life voting for him. I can never work again. I go in public and I'm spit on, I'm assaulted,
I
I'm
think we all
raped to
did.
death.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, yo, I put a lot on the line,
Yeah.
so I get to criticize him. But then it's like influencers who joined like a year ago who are fully vaccinated calling me a fucking grifter. And I'm like, sincerely, sit the fuck down.
That's such a good point, Emily, and I actually want to ask you guys about that, because I think every person on this stage has made enormous personal sacrifices, professional sacrifices, every type of sacrifice, because we were outspoken people behind President Trump. And some from 2015, I got on board in 2018, but we gave up a lot. So wouldn't that in itself allow us the freedom and the grace to speak up when we're not feeling satisfied with what we feel?
Yeah, and Brendan, I think we are still a cult. I think all of us are in the same cult, and that's what's great about this cult is that we can disagree inside
Oh, well, at least he admits that it's a cult.
this cult. The other cult, they don't allow these conversations.
Yeah, part of the cult is that it's not cool to disagree with the cult. Hello, Michelle. Are we live this late? Well, we kind of, yes, I suppose so. We started this video, and I kind of want to finish it now. At first I was like, why is it split into two parts? But now I get it, because it's a long thing. And I think I at least want to finish part one, just because I'm a completionist like that. Just asking Grandma from Canada. Oh, cool. Welcome. Yep. Well, since we're already kind of sort of close to the end, I do want to at least finish this part one, and we'll probably do part two another day, but we made it this far. Gotta power through. But yes, welcome.
So
Well, we're calling each other names for.
I'm not calling anybody names. Then there are people online.
You've never used the term panicans, doomers?
Oh, no, I joke. No, when I call somebody a panic, I'm not speaking about any particular people. It is a panicking approach to say, oh, God, these tariffs are going to bankrupt our economy. And then, oh, look, it didn't bankrupt our economy. It actually helped. So I do think there are approaches we could take to things, and we could disagree. The name calling and stuff, it depends. I don't personally attack people. I generally don't. Not if they don't deserve it. But for the most part, I think a lot of the criticism we all get, they're nameless, faceless, unverified people.
No,
who are
I'm
making it
attacked
seem...
by all Republicans and most of the biggest ones.
But I was attacked personally by President Trump. So
This is all the liberals don't even give a shit about me anymore. They think I'm like fucking insane. It's Republicans coming after me and going and talking to brands, sponsorships, talking to the news. Oh, she's this, she's that. Don't work with.
That is this is the exact kind of behavior that people judged the left for doing, for being basically the cancel culture of the time. And it's interesting to see that when it was the left doing the cancel culture, people were rightfully upset, like, don't be doing cancel culture. And now that it's the right doing the cancel culture, now it's okay suddenly because it's the right doing it. It's the hypocrisy that really gets me. Definitely not a cult. Mats aren't working. Oh no. Love you, Conan. I just want truth makes us free. Oh, thank you so much. I certainly have opinions that people from both sides disagree with, but I'm just happy to have the conversations, I guess. And even if we disagree, I prefer to like be respectful and things like that, unless people like this that are defending teenagers being assaulted, which is totally disturbing. That guy gets no respect from me after saying that. Like, that was completely sick.
Oh, she's anti-Semitic. She hates Jews, which is fucking crazy and also not true. And even with
Emily, I get that too, and I'm on the other side.
No, I know.
The,
We've
the,
talked
the
about
chairman
this.
of the GOP in Miami has literally basically blacklisted me
Yeah.
from everything because he says I'm anti-Semitic.
Okay,
It's-
I don't
No, no, I
know.
was going to say,
agree with you.
I was going to say the
They
opposite.
do this. They do this.
We are getting
It's not small accounts. You
No.
know, you see
Yeah,
the
I
people
know.
that attack me. It's fucking vicious. And the way they try to block me from MAGA, and we should gatekeep MAGA. Who the fuck are you to say you should gatekeep MAGA? Like, no offense, if people like Alex Clark said that.
That is exactly the chick on the other side in the black outfit. That's exactly what she's been saying this whole time, is that basically they should gatekeep MAGA, and that these people on this other side, they're not real MAGA, and they should stay in their little movement.
And I'm like, oh, be so fucking for real right now.
No, we get it too, though.
She hasn't spoken much, but so far I like what she's saying.
You know what would be really
I don't agree with her, obviously, with most of her views, but I do like what she's saying in this context.
moving forward? I think, yeah, I tend to separate people from their politics and personalities. It's too much and it's fucking irrelevant to me. I just want to win elections until I fucking die and then I want to continue to vote red. So it's just
Again, like, this is one of the things I disagree with. If kind of like I was saying earlier, if they have your vote no matter what, they don't have any reason to do what it is that you want them to do. Your vote is like the only thing that you can hold over their head and make them do what the people want. If they stay in power no matter what, then what do they care what you think?
it's like, that's what I care about. But the constant attacking, I'm like, I literally don't remember the last time a liberal besides Gay Dean attacked me. It's always Republicans. I'm like, you're really
Well, it's
focused on,
Israel.
like,
Israel has become the most polarizing thing on the right. And you're
And
talking
it
about people
shouldn't.
calling you a Nazi. I'm liking Jews. I'm bleeding followers and friends who call me Goyven McSheckles.
There's no winning. I went to
because
Israel.
I
I'm a
support the
fucking
Jews.
Jew lover.
So the elephant in the room in this whole thing
Oh
is
my
what
God.
Israel is doing to the left, to the right.
I think that we can actually boil this down, and there's actually a trend in elections that show why this is happening. Obama wasn't even supposed to beat Hillary Clinton. The reason Obama beat Hillary Clinton in the Democrat primaries is because he ran directly against Bush's wars in the Middle East. That's why he beat Hillary and then won the election. Now, you could say the same thing about Trump in 2016.
Sure.
He was campaigning against these same wars. I believe wars in the Middle East are a swing issue, and this is what is swinging presidential elections. Now that we're in 2026, I do think it's more direct.
I think I agree with that. That assessment makes sense to me.
Towards Israel, simply because that's where all of the special interest, foreign interest money that's influencing Congress and influencing these decisions is coming from. But here's what I think is important for everybody at some point, if you can find a time to address the audience of where you're coming from. So, if you want to say that I have these fantasies, that's perfectly fine. But here's the way I look at America. Here's the way I look at politics. And I wonder, it's like, how anybody could disagree with this. I think that our government is corrupt to its core. I think that our country has become so corrupt and we've become so sold out. And the American dream and the American way of life continues to be degraded, and our society continues to crumble. So yes, if you want to call it a fantasy that I want to save this country with drastic measures, then call me a fantasy. That's fine. I have a fantasy of living in a great country where people can afford to live, where we have a big middle class, and Washington, D.C. doesn't dictate the future of the country. That's the problem. So if that's a fantasy for me to want to live in that world, then fine, call it a fantasy. I'd like to make that a reality. That's what this is about for me.
I think it's things like that we could probably agree on from both parties. Like things like what he just said, like general ideas like that. I think that is something that we could probably... I think both parties could compromise on some things and come together for these sorts of things. And one of those things especially is kind of how I was mentioning the flock cameras earlier and the move towards this mass surveillance. I think that is another thing that both sides seem to agree on. Like, we don't want this mass surveillance apparatus going on. We don't want that. That is another thing that we could potentially, at least for the time being, compromise on other issues and address the more immediate issues that are happening to us now, such as the wars, the mass surveillance, these kinds of things, and especially the economy, just to be able to function. that's we need the basics. We need to be able to function, and yeah, I mean, I do think that we could probably compromise on some things and come together as a people, but there's people like the chick on the right with the black outfit that just wants to constantly put up more walls and divide and conquer.
I call the perp walking of
This chick right here.
let's say Obama, Fauci, fantasy, because I don't believe that's going to happen. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong for wanting that.
My hope is that we wake up and see it's upper versus lower. My belief system is no pyramids. People look out for one another, stay safe from one. We all deserve to exist. Privacy matters. I'm done with that. I like that. That's a very good way to think about it. I think a lot of, especially the people are people part and the upper versus lower. I think so many people are so quick to dehumanize others just because they think differently from them politics-wise, that it's a little scary how common that is now.
I'm not saying you're wrong for wanting that or that you shouldn't want that. I'm saying that to me is a fantasy.
And because it won't happen, we will continue to lose our country.
Listen,
that's the problem.
A lot of laws.
I want to get back to the topic of how we interact with each other. So on this topic, I want to bring up something, just a personal experience that I had to sort of illustrate exactly what you were just talking about. So you and I had something happen between us online recently, and I put a post out on X, and I basically said I want to kind of refresh the people that I'm following with some great truth tellers. Can anyone recommend any accounts that I should be following? I got about 200 comments from people and a lot of different recommendations. And if you go through and you look at my comments, you'll see at least the first two dozen people who responded to me. I followed the accounts that they told me to follow, and I responded to them, and I said, oh, thanks for the suggestion. You know, some of the people I knew, some of them I didn't know. I just basically followed everything I was suggested. One woman said to me, I've really been enjoying Buckley Carlson's posts. I highly recommend him. I clicked on the tag, went to his account, saw that he was already following me. Truth be told, I really don't know who Buckley Carlson is. I don't know much about him. I followed him back.
I didn't know much about Buckley Carlson and still don't, but when I saw the Tucker Carlson episode with Buckley on, and I thought it was seeing double. Like, I thought, like, Tucker was looking a little weird, and why is he on two sides of the screen? And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, okay, that's his brother. I didn't even know he had a brother. But I was like, holy crap, I'm seeing double. I still don't really know what Buckley Carlson is about, but if he's anything like his brother, I think that's probably a decent direction to be in. Absolutely love your take. Oh, thank you so much. Nice to have a little positivity.
Back. I went back to her account and I said, thanks for the recommendation. I just followed him. Eyal took a screenshot of that, posted it on his account with the word what ? And hundreds of comments came in, and I want to show you guys, this is literally just because I followed the Buckley Carlson account. This is what happened. So here's the exchange. Brandon Strzok is on the side of Islamo-commie Nazis. Unfollowed him a while back. Brandon Strzok is a Candace-level Nazi prick. Brandon has been a big disappointment since he went totally Israel-obsessed. Guess he, oh, well, okay, it's going a little fast. Candace-level Nazi prick. Geez, Brandon, are you insane? I walked away from Brandon Strzok. He apparently supports anti-Semites. Brandon is one of the most unstable and erratic gays on the app. I really don't know why people still follow him.
Put that in your bio.
That's clearly right.
I probably would. That's a good suggestion. Put that in your bio. Buckley sees truth. Again, I'm not familiar with his content, but if I do agree with a lot of Tucker's points, and I'm glad that at least he's come out and been like, okay, well, I was wrong about the Iraq War and things like that. So it's nice for somebody to be like, hey, I had these beliefs, I changed my mind, I was wrong. And now most of this, still some things I disagree with, but I think for the most part, a lot of things he says I do agree with. Maybe like, I don't know an exact percentage, but maybe like even 70% or something. Like he seems really on point. So if Buckley is like Tucker, then go Buckley.
In other words, right-tarded. Okay, that's a small sampling of what happened. Now, listen, I don't hold people accountable for what other people say.
Notice how they're mostly anonymous too. Like, are they anybody that
I
we
looked
know?
at they all appeared to be right-wing accounts, and they all many of them said that they used to follow me, and you could be right. They could be bots, which is an issue as well. Here's one of the many issues that I had. Number one, it was insane. The reaction that I got, and to me, it was identical to me of leftist behavior. I mean, like a leftist sort of Antifa online attack. But Eyal, you and I became friends last year. I consider you a friend. I hope you consider me a friend. We fought Mamdani together in New York City. We
Unfortunately lost.
Well, it was an uphill battle.
God save
it was an uphill battle. Some of the things that we did, rallies, debates. You sat next to me on a debate table. My organization.
I clean homes privately for a living. My husband is in long-term care. Oh, I'm sorry. That must be rough. I supported him for 3 years. That's got to be tough. I believe in service and people. A lot of people would just take the person that's inconvenient and sort of shove them away somewhere. So that really says a lot about you, that you do believe in service and people. That's really nice. That's got to be tough, though, in general.
Paid to have signs made saying things like Jews have a right to exist and Israel has a right to exist. You sat there and allowed these people to say these things about me and didn't say a single word to defend me as people were calling me a Nazi and an anti-Semite. So first of all, that bothers me. But second of all, I want to talk about the danger of allowing this kind of language to take place. We have people in our movement who are getting shot and killed. I mean, we get physically attacked as conservatives when we go to places. And I think largely because the left has allowed narratives to persist that we're Nazis and racists and bad people.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see people on the right calling each other Nazis now, because that used to be such a thing that, oh, that's something that the left did to the right. And now it's the right doing it to the right. It's kind of like the cancel culture stuff. It seems like they're taking on a lot of these same behaviors that they used to criticize the left for. At least like the more radical left that used to, be involved in this behavior. And now they're all doing the same stuff, but now it's okay somehow because they're the ones doing it. Double standards much.
We should not be doing this to each other. And I just want to ask you, why didn't you have my back in that exchange?
First of all,
Damn, you've been called out.
I obviously don't think you're an anti-Semite. Most of those accounts.
I wish you would have said that.
First of all, I don't read any of my comments, and I'll get into why. But I'm saying I didn't see any of that happening, so I apologize. I didn't stick up for you. And if I did see all those comments, obviously you're not a Nazi. Obviously, I would have said that. And when Nick Shirley was getting attacked like 2 months ago for being an anti-Semite, I wrote this long post saying Nick Shirley obviously isn't an anti-Semite. I think calling everyone an anti-Semite, number one, is unhelpful.
I think it's anti-Semitic. And
I think number two, it degrades the meaning of that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So to address that, and I apologize, had I seen all those comments, obviously I would have said something. But I think when we're talking about the reason I don't read my comments is because I open my comments and all it is die Jew right.
One thing that I don't know, I kind of disagree with Brandon Straka on is why didn't you say something? A lot of times you really don't see it because there's so much stuff going on all the social medias. So unless if they're not literally in the thread and you can see they're posting about other things in the thread and they're posting specifically against you, they could have just not seen it. So I don't know, this whole thing of oh, why didn't you say something? I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's really appropriate because they could have just not seen it. So true, it's happening here in Canada too. Great perspective. Oh, thank you so much. All right,
now. I've
let's
called
see if we can finish
multiple
this.
times to people to show up to their homes because they've actively plotted to kill me. And so when you're talking about, calling people an anti-Semite versus, you open Twitter and it is Goebbels level Nazi propaganda. And so it's kind of difficult for me to hear this, calling someone an anti-Semite when, at least as Gavinson, I think most people here would agree, is these labels that are being thrown are kind of irrelevant now. What is relevant is the fact that this week alone, 8 synagogues were shot up in Toronto and the UK. There was a man the Egyptian national who showed up at a rally for a vigil for the hostages in Colorado. The Jewish Museum was shot up in D.C.
These are all Muslims, too.
Not just, the amount of rhetoric. For instance, another thing, Dan Bilzerian just came out yesterday, asked how he could kill Ben Shapiro. Owen Schroyer had him on his show. So I'm saying, if you find me anyone who's actively called...
Are you relying on Nick Fuentes' account as to what Dan Bilzerian said?
For me to finish.
I wouldn't doubt it. He kicked my friend in the face at a club.
If you're
Not the nicest guy ever. Ask him about kicking a girl in the face.
If we're going to talk about it, I talk about this when I go to synagogues, when I speak at synagogues. I say actively, stop calling people an anti-Semite. Tell them all they're wrong, why they're wrong.
So is he also Jewish? If he speaks at synagogues, so that's 2 out of 4. I don't know about the other 2.
There's a lot to go off of. For instance, the reason I posted that with Buckley and that woman Trisha Hope, Buckley Carlson has spent the past 4 months accusing Erika Kirk of murdering her own husband and covering it up. Trisha Hope has done the exact thing.
Is that true?
I vehemently despise those people. In terms of death threats, Erika Kirk and Turning Point have done more.
Because I've seen that a lot of people that are saying stuff like that, people say, oh, well, Candace is accusing Erika of killing her husband. And that's just not true. She hasn't done that. A lot of people that say oh, so-and-so is accusing Erika Kirk of killing her husband. And usually if it's if the person is well known, they probably haven't done that. So I can't just take his word for it because I have seen so many people accusing Erika of killing her husband that haven't done that. So I'm going to need to see evidence for that. Not that I'm definitively saying, no, that hasn't happened in this case, but I've just seen so many people lie about that. So I don't know for sure. Home stretch. Absolutely. We can do this.
More death threats from the so-called right than they have from Antifa because of people like Candace Owens, Buckley Carlson, and...
Oh, yes, blame Candace for Erika being, not behaving like a human being. What is this? What?
Husband and covering it up. Trisha Hope has done the exact thing. I vehemently despise those people. In terms of death threats, Erika Kirk and Turning Point have gotten more death threats from the so-called right than they have from Antifa.
Oh, no, they've gotten death threats. Everybody gets death threats. If you're a big enough figure, you're gonna get those. That's gonna happen. What happened to Erika going on that show shortly after Charlie died and being oh, and the interviewer's oh, aren't you scared to go outside and stuff? She's no, I'm not scared. If God wants to take me, he's gonna take me. And what am I scared of going to heaven? And now it's oh no, I'm getting death threats. That's everybody gets those. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't happen. I don't want anybody to get those. I don't want anybody to threaten anybody with death or any other thing in general, no physical action whatsoever. People should not threaten other people as a rule, no matter what level. But saying oh, this particular person gets death threats as if everybody else doesn't. Literally everybody else is getting them too. Keep poking the bear. Critical thinking is everything. That's the plan. only 0.4% of the chosen people in America, yet they're 50% here. Yeah, the representation seems a little bit skewed. I'm not sure about the others. Could be more.
Tifa because of people like Candace Owens, Buckley Carlson, and Trisha Hope. And so for me at least, it was personal to me because she had just lost.
I love how people Candace is hit and miss. There are things that she says that I disagree with, and there are things that I agree with. But the way that people blame her for literally everything is kind of ridiculous. Like, they're basically saying Candace is so powerful that she has all this influence and everything is her fault because she's just so influential. That's almost a compliment to her, so it's kind of crazy. Oh, Michelle, you're so sweet. It's nice to read nice things once in a while.
Lost her husband, and for the past 6 months, rather than getting empathy from the right, from people who so-called cared about Charlie, they're going after his wife. And so for me, it's standing on principle.
Oh, well, if you cared about Charlie, you can't go after the widow. No, because she's completely gone psycho, and you can tell something is very, very wrong there. I think, okay, if I was married and then I died and my husband started going and shooting off fireworks and going around giggling about like being so giddy to get my stuff and like going to all my friends and being like, oh, why don't we do this and that, and we sell hats with her name on it. Did you know how many hats we sold, you guys? If that happened, I would be like, fuck that guy. If I died and my husband was doing that kind of stuff, the kind of exact kind of stuff that Erika is doing now, I would want people to criticize him. That's ridiculous. Again, this makes you think. I don't agree with everything she says, however she pushes the narrative. Yeah, there's Candace is for sure hit and miss.
Again, in terms of calling people anti-Semites, I think it's totally.
But at least I'm glad that there are people as influential as her out there that have the audience that are pointing things out that need to be pointed out, at least about the TPUSA and Erika stuff. No merchandise.
Owen dressed up as a Hasidic Jew.
They can have merch, but only if they're crying while they're selling it. If they're laughing as they're selling it, then the merch is demonic or something.
And started dancing for shekels on his live stream, which
did you get it?
Which to me, I didn't come out and say that he's an anti-Semite because it doesn't matter to me.
I want to
What doesn't
respond.
matter is like that's just like it's childish for a grown man to do
Brandon,
that.
why do you even care about that side? Like, I feel like, no disrespect, but I feel like you are biased in this panel. Like, I feel like you.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
And as for me, I've received the opposite of what you've received. So I'll give you an example. I posted a picture with Ana Paulina Luna. I didn't know that apparently I had no idea that people didn't like her and they said that she's a Jew. And I guess she took a picture with Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't know when it was, if it was before or prior to the war, I'm not sure. I didn't know. My comment section was going to be filled with Jew, 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 Jew. Fuck you, I'm unfollowing.
YouTube is gonna love this.
Are we gonna deny that there's also an Israel derangement syndrome on the other side or on their side, and they come after us and they're just as nasty?
The number of times I have heard Israel derangement syndrome, and every single time it was, well, not true.
They send death threats.
This is just another talking point. This is almost as bad as the whole like, oh, the Iranians they're chanting death to America, therefore they deserve to be leveled. Like that's the same level of talking point. 14% of the time it's espoused. Really look it up. It is weird that people aren't looking at espoused. That's acting weird. Again, I don't have any evidence that she specifically was involved, but it's weird that people aren't even like investigating. TPUSA is not the same. It is unbelievably a 180-degree Charlie had a voice. It is odd that if everything that happened with the Charlie Kirk situation and the widow and everything else that happened surrounding the case, if all that happened to some like Joe Schmo accountant from Nebraska or whatever, and say like his wife was acting like that and it turns out that right before he died he changed his mind on some things and he was gonna change the direction of the company that he was heading, and they were gonna lose some connections or something. Like if those kinds of things happened to just like some dude, the cops would be investigating everything about that they're not investigating in this particular case. Like how many true crime things have I don't know if anybody else watches true crime things. I've dabbled here and there in the true crime stuff. But how many of those things are out there in cases like that where it was at least investigated? And how many times have they investigated that sort of thing and found something? So yeah, it's very odd that people aren't even looking at it. And to look at it is like somehow it's like people are acting it's like sinful to even ask questions about it. Like it's fine. Like if we look and really look and it turns out there's nothing there and she's just like not a good person, that's possible. That's okay. Like we just find out she's not a good person, which I think we already know. But then that's that. We looked and now it's clear, like all clear. Okay. But the fact that even to look is somehow sinful, or at least they're acting like it, is really weird. Propaganda goes both ways. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can 137 out of 143 is like five-ish minutes. I can't do math. That's obviously like what, you know what? However many minutes. No, I have to know now. 3+. It's like 6 minutes. Okay.
Did any of us reply with that?
No, that's 7 + 3. That's, you know what? I give up.
Point on that though, because I even had to come out.
Engineer, everybody.
The Jews are the root of all evil, which people DM me like big names, and they're like, "Let me."
No, that is like 6 minutes. I gotta be more confident in my math. The young women's group is now the old women's group should enlighten everyone. That is strange. Not that I don't think that like older women deserve a thing, but if they have a specific thing for younger women, it's weird for it now to change like that. It is strange. Like. Not that older people shouldn't have stuff. It's just that specific thing wasn't for them. And now it's, yeah. So many things are shifting around, complete 180 on things, just like Michelle here said.
Convince you, and I'm like, I would rather fucking do anything else than listen to that.
Yeah, it's so tedious.
But the root, Jews are the root of all evil. Everything goes back to them. Those people are fucking crazy, and they should be not listened to. Okay. The people who are also like, you cannot criticize anyone Jewish. You can never criticize Israel. Also fucking wrong. They're both wrong. They're both extremely, I think, crazy liberal.
Word.
But that's the problem is like I made like valid I've criticized things and then I've had consequences for those things and I think it's not fair and I don't think the right attacking the other right is smart when we have a much bigger battle. But yeah, I just think also the Jew thing is like honestly they're just not very intelligent. They don't have anything better to say. It's like when they respond to me, you're like fat, ugly, you should get raped, whatever. It is what it is. It's just easy to call someone a Jew. It's just very unintelligent. But the whole anti-Semitic thing, I'm like if you're considering people like me anti-Semitic, then it's lost all value and you should save it for people who are really fucking anti-Semitic and evil people who want to hurt innocent Jewish people. Let's save it for that. Let's get people like me.
I want to respond. Okay, to it. First of all, I really appreciate.
I think that's valid.
The apology, and that means a lot to me. Second of all,
I really don't like her whole like, oh, I'm voting red no matter what. They could, do whatever they want to me, and I'm gonna still vote red. I don't like that. That's a bad take. But the rest of the stuff she said so far in the panel has been pretty spot on.
The purpose of this was not to make it personal or to call you out. I was literally trying to provide an example of this sort of culture that's happened. And I don't think, Linda, that it's necessarily one-sided. The larger point that I'm trying to make, well, first let me address the other thing that you said, which is that you think when you compare being called anti-Semitic to literally receiving death threats for being Jewish, the two things are non-comparable. I agree with you.
No, sorry, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, like, I think everyone here said at a certain point that like these labels don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Is that correct? I haven't said that.
Yeah, but I have an issue with that.
No, but I'm saying people have said that, right?
Yeah.
So if those labels don't matter anymore, and that's what you're going to say, then stand on your principle that those labels don't matter anymore.
But I don't feel that way.
And get over it. Okay.
But I don't feel that way.
That's the separate part.
I don't feel that way because I feel like Emily was touching on this point that to be labeled anti-Semitic right now is just like when the left calls you a racist or anything else. Costs people job opportunities. It costs people. I mean, you saw right there. I just got followed by like 100 people in your comments. That people that I've been following for 8 years, and now I'm like, so it does have consequences to be labeled anti-Semitic. Is it the same as receiving a death threat that makes you actually feel like your life's in danger? No, but it does, I think, have consequences. And the point I want to make to you, Linda, is that this, for me, is not about bias or one side chastising the other side. Part of the reason I want to do this debate tonight, and I mean it, is that I want to find common ground with one another again. And if people, you're my friend, if people, even if we disagree on different issues, if people are threatening your life, I want to jump in the comments and have your back. And I would appreciate it in return if you would jump in the comments and have my back when people are accusing me of things in your comments that are not true. And I don't think that either side of this divide on the right, I think we should all be having each other's backs, even if we disagree on policy issues. I don't think this should be so.
Okay, but labels shouldn't matter. That is the last label that will ruin your fucking life and your career. If you label someone anti-Semitic truly the way they've labeled me, and I've had severe consequences for that, that actually really does damage your career and your life. And by the way, my friendships, the amount of friends I lost, I was like, but you know me, you know my beliefs. Like the amount of people unfollowing me, being like, oh, I thought you were a truth seeker, you're just this. I'm like, whoa, that label is like not a joke. And I wish it was. I wish it was like racist.
Try losing all your Nazi friends.
Something that is weird about that is you would think that you would avoid doing that sort of thing because that just proves their point. That is, if people start, if you start like losing opportunities because you're labeled with this word and you're not even acting hateful towards this group of people, but now you start losing opportunities, that only goes to prove the point of people who really like do hate this group of people. That proves their point. It's like, wow, this group of people really has that much power, so much that you can't even remotely say anything critical of anything they possibly do. Like that seems to have the opposite effect. Like, oh wow, these people are so powerful. That's kind of crazy. At least they're speaking up. No more labels. It's confusing. I'm 57 and cheering for common sense. Yay! Common sense is the best. Common sense. What is the saying? Common sense isn't so common anymore, unfortunately. But I'll take all the common sense I can get.
That sucks too. All my Nazis left.
Let me suggest. First of all, Emily, when you were accused of being anti-Semitic, I both privately and publicly said something about it because I saw
Did
the
you?
comment. I did.
Okay, I was actually going to say none of my Jewish friends have ever stuck up for me, so that makes one. So I
texted you. What are you talking about? I can bring up our text messages, but I'm saying like in terms of that, what you're saying specifically, and like. I actively say that we shouldn't be calling people anti-Semitic. I think it's irrelevant because I view anti-Semitism as something that should only be reserved for anti-Semitic. But the idea that it's like this apples to oranges argument of like, oh, I was called anti-Semitic. Like, you've been online. Like some of the biggest influencers are fully Nazis. Like actively say they're not. Like I'm not paraphrasing. I'm quoting them and like actively calling for another Holocaust. Amru Fudal, Myron Gaines, literally wore a Cookie Monster's hoodie to Turning Point with Jews going into the other. Like the idea that there's some sort of like apples to apples thing. Like I think it's wrong. I actively say that it's wrong. It's stupid. It's childish, and it's unhelpful to call people.
Okay, I'm clearing my name on that. I did not know what that sweatshirt was. I did not know what it fucking meant. I took a photo. My caption was making fun of him because he's a douchebag and a dipshit, and then I deleted it out of respect for my Jewish friends. So I'm clearing my name on that one.
How is it something stupid?
Okay, what are the
Like,
metrics?
All right. I think we will do part 2 next time, but we can watch the preview, I suppose. Since this is an appropriate time to put up a preview. I don't really get what the previews were throughout the middle of this whole episode, but this is an appropriate thing to do because now that the episode is over and there's another one and you already have it filmed and you're like, okay, here's what's in the next one. we can watch it.
But what are the metrics of a war, Gavin?
I'm not talking if you interrupt me again.
Well, you can't just say, yes,
Oh.
I can. Of course I can. So what is a war?
Jesus, what the? Oh my goodness. We should have started with part 2. That's way spicier.
I'm allowed to say a thing. Tell me what Don't tell me what I can't fucking say.
The Gulf War, for instance, was because
Okay. We're definitely watching that next time.
Kuwait. We went into Iraq. Ariel Sharon, the current prime minister, actively was writing Bush saying, don't go in. This is not a good idea.
What was he saying to him, though? He was telling him to go to war against Iran.
Yeah, because the
we didn't.
Israelis viewed...
So how much influence did that?
Because the Israelis viewed Iran as
But
a
you know
threat.
why? You know why? Because we said after Iraq, we'll go for Iran.
Like, are you kidding me?
That's a good point.
No, I'm not kidding you. It's a debate. You don't know how to debate, then why did you bring her? You can't answer the question. Stupid bitch. It's my
Damn. Oops, I clicked on the thing. Holy crap. This is like... Ugh, scary. I was not expecting this. I was expecting, whatever the first part was. We should have started with the second. Holy crap, this is spicy.
What she said on the fucking screen. Just fucking say it.
What, are they gonna fight? Oh my god. They're shaking up. What is going on? What is happening there? Oh my goodness. Okay, it is getting late. I really want to see part 2 now. That is... Wow, I'm glad I watched that preview because we could have been in danger of me forgetting about it. But now that I've seen the preview, that was a great use of a preview. I'm definitely coming back to part 2. But not tonight. It is very late. It is, almost like on the dot near the hour. Dang spicy. My solution, vote against every incumbent. That's not a bad solution. Because everybody, well, except for Thomas Massey has been like voted out already. But like I was saying earlier, I think Thomas Massey is the only politician that I would even trust with anything. But yeah, everybody else, we've seen what they've done. They've taken this country and turned it into a complete garbage pile. I was thinking this whole time it's been somewhat calm. Part 2. We will do part 2. All right. Not tonight, though. But wow. I mean, at the end there, that other chick got up and they were going to like fight or something. Holy crap. That was intense. And then that Gavin guy completely lost his marbles. He was like screaming. I have seen people crashing out, but that was like another level of crashing out. That was crazy. Really talk with others. I cleaned for a family that is Persian, and we discuss everything. Basically, it is elites versus SpongeBob reference. Thank you so much. Keep seeking truth. Blessings, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for stopping in. SpongeBob reference. Oh, the part two. All right. We're gonna call it a night, and I don't know if I really want to see this part 2, so I don't know if we're gonna do it like tomorrow or the next day or something, but I do want to do it soon because that looked exciting. And I'm not gonna watch it until we're here watching it together, I promise. Even though I really kind of want to. That looks so interesting. And very much spicier than I expected. But anyway, I am gonna go to bed, but thanks for chatting, everybody. I can't wait a week for 2. Yeah. Well, we'll do it sooner for sure. We're not gonna wait a week. That looked way too exciting to wait that long. It's like at most gonna be 2 days, but maybe 1. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. I might need more sleep than the half day, but we'll see. No promises, but definitely not gonna be like a week. That's way too long. Way too exciting stuff there. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out. Remember to support the show and stuff. There's links in the descriptions and things like that. So I shall see you next time. Within a day or 2, probably. We'll see. But that looks so good. Okay, good night, everybody.